Preparing live stream.
Hey guys, we're live.
Oh, I don't know that we're live yet.
Who says it?
Oh, okay. There you go. Preparing live stream. Let me dismiss.
Hey guys.
I'm gonna mute this. Right.
What's happening, Mr. Ortegas? How are you today?
Man, not much.
I know we didn't do our official intro, but welcome.
What's up, Robert?
This episode of the Pin Pad, the Texas Arm Wrestling League podcast.
That is like Uncle John do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Right. With your hosts, where'd you go, Billy? Well, I'm Dustin Laughlin. And the other guy who was there a minute ago is Billy Ortegas, president of the Texas Arm Wrestling League. Seems like we may be having a bit of a technical difficulty at this time. We may have to get right back with you, so stand by. Let's give him a minute here, see if he can get back on. There you are.
Sorry, I fat fingered something. Technical difficulties. Anyway, hi.
Listen, Billy. Listen. Oh,
Hey,
I can hear my. I can hear my voice.
It's been a bit, and I've got all kinds of plugs into my deal. I don't have my mouse, so messing around on the touchpad, I hit the wrong button.
So yeah, it's been a while.
Anyway,
It's been too
so
long.
you're the host.
We have to do these. We are the hosts.
Hey, you want to change me to the host?
Are
You want to
the
change
guest?
me to the host on the Zoom meeting?
Oh, give me a second. Let's see.
And I'll go ahead and post the link so people can come in.
Do me a favor. Tell me. Do I go to more?
I think if you click on like my name over there and you hit more.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I got it. Yeah, make host.
Yeah, you can make me host.
There you
So hold on. I'm working on updating the post here with the link for Zoom.
While you are doing that, real quick, folks, quick little plug for one of our sponsors. Okay. Arm Sport. Okay.
Oh, yep.
Makers of wrist ball. Guys, I love this thing. It's great. Hook it up to a cable machine. Hook it up to a pulley system with a load pin. You can do all kinds of great things with it. Check out their handles. Make sure that you use promo code TAL20, I believe.
No, TAL10.
TAL10. TAL10 for your 10% discount. And it's a little hard to see that one with my filter on the background there, but yes, awesome products. They support Texas Arm Wrestling League, and we support them. So let's make sure that we are showing them lots of love, guys. Okay. Order your wrist ball, order your handles, order your straps. They got all kinds of cool things over there. So check out Arm Sport. All right.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Going to the chat, guys. We're not trying to step on anybody's toes. We do this kind of infrequently because of our schedules. So if you guys got another podcast or something going on, please go support them as well. Like, we're just so random. We're not trying to, step on anybody's time here that might be going on. So if Evan's got his going on, by all means, go join Evan. we want to support that as well.
I disagree. Stay here.
Robbie, didn't you get a arm sport wrist ball already? Guys, I just posted the link to the Zoom chat. So if you guys want to come in and chat a little bit, feel free. We'll let you in. Let's talk about some things.
Speaking of cool sponsorships that we just picked up, how about the Dallas area O'Reilly's?
O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Sponsorship. Yeah, auto parts.
Yep.
We'd like
Big
to thank
one.
them for coming on board and helping promote the sport of arm wrestling in Texas, and and some of the baddest dudes from in the sport in the state, right?
Oh, absolutely. So Brian Sitton was a big help in that. Big shout out to Brian. He works for O'Reilly's. Managed to secure that sponsorship with them, and it looks like that might be a pretty good relationship going forward for all our future Dallas events. So we're happy about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, O'Reilly's will be displaying a banner at Central for the O'Reilly's, and we appreciate their sponsorship.
Yes, very much.
Speaking of sponsors, let's do a little recap of Lubbock. Northern Qualifier. Great tournament.
Loved it.
Tournament.
Loved it. No injuries.
We had one injury.
No serious.
We had one injury. Yeah. Which I have to say could have been prevented.
Let me clarify that. No arm breaks. Okay.
No arm breaks. No. But
thank you.
Yet an injury that could have been prevented with the proper safely pulling.
True. Especially for a newer puller.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that was a little bit of the case, I believe. Some of that they were kind of new puller, new to the group, or new to the pulling and hey, what are you doing?
He's turning the TV off on me. And
No.
He's got this remote.
Jesus.
Give me my remote.
Yeah, big deal. So it was, I don't know if you noticed this, Dustin, but like this tournament in Lubbock was very, very team oriented. Like we had the Austin Arsenal there. We had the San Angelo Club there. We had the Lubbock, the Hub City Pullers, the Lubbock team and club there. We had the San Antonio team there. We had a New Mexico group that came along with Scott Dodd and Nate McCallan and them. We had a little bit of the Dallas group. It was very much the feeling around that tournament was very team oriented, man. It was really cool to see because, usually you have some stragglers coming in and, individuals and all that kind of stuff. But I would say probably 80% of that tournament was team based.
And the thing that I liked about that at the end too, a bunch of the teams came up on stage and asked, when we were taking photos and asked, if we would take a team picture, and a bunch of them turned out great. That's something I'd like to continue doing. So guys, when you have your team together and we're taking photos at our tournaments, come on up, let's get pictures of your team and let's,
absolutely
share those with your communities and your newspapers and your social media pages and
team-based.
What do we got here?
I liked about that at the end too. A bunch of the teams came up on stage.
Is that Robbie?
We were taking photos and
no, you're gonna have to mute your YouTube feed
turned out
there,
great.
whoever this is.
Something I'd like to continue doing. So, guys,
All right, I'll mute him until he comes on, whoever this iPhone is. Anyway, yeah, great tournament. Minimal injury. There was an injury right there at the end. For the most part, everything was great, ran smoothly. We tried a little bit of a different format on the table setup. That seemed to run really well. Everybody seemed to like that.
Yep.
I think that was very cohesive for our new amateur rules that we instituted, because we ran all amateurs on one table. So it was much easier for the referees to just say, okay, I've got an amateur table. I don't have to remember, okay, this guy's an open puller, this guy's an amateur.
It was very, very good.
Yeah.
What was your, do you have a favorite match from that event, or maybe a top 3?
Well, I mean, I gotta say, obviously one of my favorite matches, and I think, I've had a couple postings about it and stuff like that, is the Camille Palmer. Camille has been out to a few of our tournaments. Great lady, great woman. And Sky Renee out of Austin. So Camille is out of Utah, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Friends with Robert Fowler, and been to, now the Roberts in Texas. They've been to a couple tournaments. Camille pulled in the all ladies tournament, and also, came to this Lubbock tournament, and love having her.
Super
Obviously,
cool chick. Yep.
Yeah. Super cool. Super humble. Like, just gets up there, gives it her all. And then, we got Sky as well out of the Austin group, and a new puller, lighter puller, but very, very technical so far in her early career here in the arm wrestling world. And
was she a 125?
I don't know. She's in the chat. Let's see. Sky, you're about 130-ish, 128, maybe, something like that. I don't know. If you can reply in the chat, let us know. But great match. Those
coming
two,
along. She's coming along so nice. I mean, that her form, Dustin is really, and her team, or rest of her Austin crew there are getting her, taught very well. Good form.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was probably one of my. All right. So Sky says she's 118. Woo. Okay.
My apologies, Sky.
Super light. Hope I didn't offend you by giving you that extra 10 pounds there.
My apologies.
But super light. And that's another thing, another aspect is, I think hopefully we can break into a little bit of a different area and start getting some lighter females into it. I think we, hopefully with this new thing that we're doing with the fitness expos, we can break into a lighter community there, and garner some good competitive women for the lighter classes, enough to allow us to create a class and run these lighter classes and stuff. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah. We just need to get them trained up properly, so they can pull safe when they come up to the table. We've gotta get them trained up. We've got lots of folks to get trained properly. It looks like we have a new.
So that's Eric. What's up, Eric? You there?
His audio is still connecting.
Oh, let me unmute Robbie here. Robbie, can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to figure this out.
So if there should be an option for you to connect with video. If not, you can just be on the phone. No big deal.
I guess I'll put a shirt on.
What's going on, Eric? Oh, Eric still doesn't have audio.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has, because I can't mute him. But
I think if you click on your picture there, Eric, you should be able to turn your audio on.
What's up, Charles? How you doing, man? Hey, while Charles is in the chat, congratulations, Charles, for your progression into the open class. I understand you are no longer going to be pulling amateurs. Awesome job, buddy. You're there. There's been to a few tournaments where I've gotten the liberty of pulling Charles. Really strong guy. Definitely making his way up, progressing with every tournament. So congratulations there, buddy.
Robbie, welcome.
There he is.
Thank you for putting a shirt on.
And congratulations to you, Robbie.
Congratulations.
Although, we are doing both hands. So
yeah, no.
You're gonna have to whip that right into shape. I'm sorry. Okay.
Sorry, the video was a little laggy.
Oh, okay. Internet. That's okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was definitely a good one. I always enjoy watching Ian Wagner pull.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course, Robert and Nate's match, and yeah, we had to go. Of course, Nicholas.
Oh yeah.
Man, I mean, Ali Nick
Nick's my
Adams,
boy. Nick's my
just a
boy.
stud.
I tell you what, I gotta say something funny though. I can almost pinpoint it. Whenever I drop these little bombshells, like, hey, big announcement coming through and everything like that, I can almost put money that the first message I'm gonna get is gonna be from Nick Adams.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you got going on? What's going on?
Looking for the inside scoop.
He
can't wait.
Help it. Yep, he can't help it.
Sounds like a director
Nick's,
we used to have.
Nick's an awesome guy. Nick's an awesome guy.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, getting back into this tournament. Yeah, little recap on the Lubbock. So big shout out to our sponsors for Lubbock. Huge help. First off, awesome job, Orlando Martinez and Todd Threet. You guys did an outstanding job in Lubbock. You set the venue, the sponsorships, everything.
And Mark Bettis as well, right?
Mark Perez came in. Yes. Came in, emceed the event. Yes, absolutely.
And Sarah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, she only ran brackets and, pretty much the whole event.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Sarah's,
It's on my phone.
Sarah's awesome.
Yeah, and she's been pivotal,
And she's getting better all the time. Like she's getting in the groove and all that. And then also too, big shout out to Robbie and Desiree helping me out with registration and raffle. Robbie always there to lend a helping hand.
Hey, Desiree.
That's the thing, we can't get all this. We can't get all this done without everybody, for sure. So, big shout, but going back to that, big shout out to the sponsors, Green Mountain, big deal. Got us the best hotel room rate that we've had so far. And
hotel
got us
was
a great.
Yeah,
got a great hotel. Awesome
yeah,
hotel.
It was great. Yeah, well done there, Todd. Well
Robbie,
done.
did y'all stay at the hotel?
Yes, it was real nice. It was cheap and great.
Yeah.
And kid friendly.
Awesome. Best rate we've had. And we're going to hit them. We're going to hit them up. They're really looking forward to trying to help out some more and stuff like that. So we can probably, try and get those rates in different areas as well. And, that's only an advantage to everybody. The advantage to the pullers coming in, that low rate on the hotel room is really a big deal. So trying to do better on that always is pivotal. But Green Mountain, awesome job, guys. Thank you so much. The Outdoor Chef Lubbock. Now, a lot of these sponsors, guys, are Lubbock, so they're Lubbock Central. So it's to the area, but nonetheless, Outdoor Chef, Lubbock Sound, a returning sponsor from last year. Wickers jalapeno jelly. I mean, delicious. I mean,
yeah.
Big shout out to them. Lubbock Sports, another returning sponsor from last year. So Lubbock Sports is kind of like the Lubbock Sports Commission of the city. They track visitors, incoming, outgoing, stuff like that. This tournament did exceptionally well on those standards. We had a lot of participation. We had a lot of participants. We sold a lot of rooms. I think we had a minimum of 20 rooms sold at 20 nights, and most people stayed maybe 2 nights. So, we had anywhere from 20 nights to 40 nights rented out. Huge deal. They'll be back again if we're in Lubbock again, for sure. So big shout out to them. Orlando in his line of profession, he managed to get a bunch of, a few sponsorships. So OTI Electric Services, big shout out to them. Thank you so much. LHR Supply, another big one there. Circle 4 Utility Service, another big sponsor there. Thank you, Orlando, for helping out with that. Big deal there. Lubbock was great. Oh, we got Frank Callahan
Really?
in here. Let's see what we got going on.
Really great.
Yeah. So big shout out to them, guys. You know, they helped make this tournament what it was.
Eric, can you hear us now?
He still doesn't have any audio.
You have to connect the computer or
He's on his phone, but we'll get him at some point. We'll figure it out. So, yeah, I think women's side of the thing, match of the day, definitely Camille and Sky, hands down. You know, I think probably went on for, I think the full video was about 45 seconds. When she cut out setup and stuff like that, they probably had about a 25-second match, which everybody knows that's a pretty good match in arm wrestling. You know,
Right.
Hey, I don't need you flexing on here, making everybody feel bad with your big forearms and all this other kind of stuff. All right, Frank?
I'm not exactly a big forearm material yet. Give me another couple of years.
Hey, you're coming along. You're coming along. And I'm glad you're here. It gives us something else to talk about in a little bit. So I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming on.
yeah.
I know you probably want to talk about it too. So
Yeah, for sure. I actually just got the notification you guys were live, and I was like, let's run over.
yeah, absolutely. Big deal. Big deal. Big things. Love it. Yep. What else about love it? What else about? All right. So we had our rankings matches, right? We had our rankings matches. We had Todd Threet, Derek Overby. Yep. Very good match. Derek, very new puller out of San Antonio. Todd been doing it in a while. Kind of, I think he had quite a break there. Came back into it.
A timeout, not a break. A timeout.
Timeout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think Todd considered. I mean, I've heard him say it. He kind of considers himself the gatekeeper of the super heavyweights. He's kind of in that mid range where people are, you know, targeting and stuff like that. And Derek is making a lot of progression here in a San Antonio club. And so
keeping
it was a
us
good
on our
match.
toes.
It was a good match. I don't think. What's that, Robbie?
I said he definitely felt good when I pulled him.
Yeah. He's coming along very well. And I think Todd, I think that match could have been better. I don't know if Todd was quite ready. There might have been some stuff going on there. So I'll give him that. I think
he was pretty busy getting sponsorships.
Yeah. No, I think he was a little off that day. I will definitely concede that because I was expecting a little bit more out of Todd, and I think it's there. So yeah, I think it would have been a better match under different circumstances and stuff.
Sure.
Dustin Pools. Yeah. What else do we have? We had an exhibition match between none other than Frank Callahan and Michael Zamora.
Yeah.
So
that was a great matchup.
Great. That was a good match. I mean, I told you when I talked to you
sometime.
Yeah, I talked to you, I think like a week or so before that. And I told you we thought that would be a good match.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think
Frank,
it was right there. Like left-handed, it was right there. Right-handed, I still got to get my post back.
Yeah.
But Michael and I are good friends, and so we talked it all through afterwards. Exactly what he knew, what I wanted. I knew what he wanted. So it's one of those matches I think we'll keep running back over, every 6 months, every 12 months, and he and I can keep playing that game. So,
well, you guys are very similar pullers too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's not because I want to be. I really try to high hook and top roll, but like on my right now, I don't have the post to do that. So I go here, but I still have the cup, and so people are like, oh, you're a high hooker, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be. But
this is where I go.
And then on my left, you see it, like the first round we had was the perfect, like, oh, that's what I want. I want to top roll like that. But yeah, I mean, his hook, his inside, like he knew, like he had a large hand. He got deep grips. I was trying a new grip. I was doing something where I double cap. I was trying something new out. Which kind of favors him because, it really secures us, ties us together, which him having the stronger arm, truthfully, and being stronger inside was great for him. It was great. I wanted We'll run it back. It was fun.
Yeah. So Michael's definitely a little bit of something inside for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, he is.
Am I
He
here
really
now,
is.
guys?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dustin.
What's going on, Dustin?
What's cracking, boys?
Oh, you know.
Recapping the Lubbock event at the moment.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've been listening the whole time. I'm just over here sitting on top of the world,
So is Frank. So
ready.
Yeah.
Ready.
Oh yeah. Do we have the same one now? I was just clicking through them. Oh yeah.
Close
we
to
sure
it.
do.
Yeah, no, it's the same one, except
Yeah,
you're
he's
like
just-
windowed.
I'm just a
Yeah,
circle,
yeah.
right? I don't know. I'm just messing around with it.
Yeah, you look like a
yeah.
podcaster.
I'm like, I got a fancy mic. Look.
Yeah, you guys look
Uh,
professional.
Just what I used
Yeah.
to wear.
So Dustin, give me your thoughts on Lubbock.
Lubbock, if not for states, is the best event I've been to. To include,
Wow.
out of state, all over Nevada and California. It was just the vibe. Everything there was really, really well put together. Smooth. Corey Miller's system obviously is fantastic. Same as Sky's point of view, that system is stellar. I liked running the two tables. I liked the amateur table and the timing of it. I don't know if the number of people that were in the event was equal in terms of how many amateurs were pulling versus open pullers, if that number was close. But man, did the timing work out fantastic in terms of both the tables constantly running.
That was most
Yeah.
definitely the best grand tournament I've seen put on. Honestly, it really was.
Totally agree.
Did
Yeah,
you
I
say
gotta-
best refereed tournament that you've ever seen?
Yes, yes, Dustin, I agree to that.
I
I'm
agree with
sorry,
that as
I'm
well.
sorry,
I
I'm
think
sorry.
the reffing was fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, we obviously made some improvements. To piggyback off that, love Corey's system. You know, I know this Bishop guy has come out with a new system and stuff like that, but which is, you know, I think last time I saw from him, he was working on trying to figure out a way to integrate that system into the Corey's ELO system. But I just can't tell you how much I like Corey's system.
Yeah, it's very good.
Very good. And yeah, I think the amateur thing, all the amateurs on one table did work. I think so we had a total of 69 pullers that day, including the kids. So you knock the kids out of there, we're sitting at about 65. 154 entries. And we managed to run that tournament, which is good for us. I'm sure people can run it faster, and we're getting there. But, you know, if you consider the time we started to the time we started awards, we were just at a little bit over 4 hours. So.
Oh, yeah. As far as speed, it was, for the number of participants, the fastest I've been through in terms of we moved really aggressively. Even had a break. There was like a moment that we paused for a little bit. To include the kids and everything, I had warned people whose first event it was, like, look, guys, it's an all-day thing. Another positive about that event was the after pull. Fantastic. Too many people missed out on a really good opportunity when we all went outside to pull.
Oh yeah.
We rented you guys.
You're breaking up a little bit there.
Fantastic.
Dustin.
Chris.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. We got you. Yeah, the after pull. Yeah. My understanding is you guys pulled at the venue till like 10, and then you guys went to your place, and then I think we were in the lobby still at like after 2:00, and everybody was walking in from after pulling.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how y'all did it.
We did some fun things. It would be like we would take like one of my 176 guys and put them up against Frank, and Frank would run through them 6 times, and then I would go through Mikey 6 times, like Texas Piranha, and then we're up a little bit, and then me and Callahan wrap up together and go. So we just did some unique takes on arm wrestling and
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
he
really
also
fun.
he was giving us like we'd play like fun handicaps. The dogs are going crazy. Like whoever is like the suit like most tired, we would just let one person tie the band up or tie the strap up however you want, right? So like I'm cheating the strap as heavily as I can. I'm putting it on him like a bracelet, putting it on me like I'm wearing it as an armband. I'm cheating the strap as much as I can, and then so now like I'm exhausted, he's fresh, or vice versa, and now one of us has a huge advantage. And yeah, we did that like really until like 1:30, 1:45.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, it was
And-
fun just to make Dustin's
While you guys were
pulling.
pulling, we were in the lobby finishing off a bottle of whiskey.
Oh yeah, I know. I heard.
I
Sounds
missed
like
That
we
was
were
a
all
good
having
time, though.
fun. Yeah,
That was
we
a
were all
good
having
time.
Yeah.
We had Sarah Collins. She was pulling people out of the bar, pulling guys out of the bar, and that was a good time.
Yeah, I won't be able to arrange it for Central. I end up getting a house, but I'm not staying long enough. But for the next event I go to, I'm going to try and get a gang of people together and get something big. So the after just go right there.
Yeah. So what's going to be your next event?
Oh, I'm pulling Central. I'm going to go win Central.
Boom.
You've all been put on notice.
Oh hell.
Chris.
Oh,
Chris Hood.
yeah, 100%.
Chris Hood.
Can y'all hear
Welcome,
me?
man. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're there.
I
Beautiful.
actually believe you. I'm not a betting man. I usually am, but I'll put $1 on it.
I'd buy that
Big
bet too.
dollar.
I'd buy that bet.
I've got full confidence in you, buddy. I think you're gonna surprise a lot of people there. But
Yeah.
you're gonna have some good competition there too. So I think it'll be
Yeah.
good all the way around.
Me and Cody have been talking shit to each other for a while with the utmost respect. And
Yeah.
I am so excited to throw that motherfucker at me. I told him, he's like, just understand. He said, understand, I'm going to bring the motherfucker. And I was like, that's the exact guy I can't wait to have a drink with.
Yeah, no, Cody's great. Cody Haga is a great guy.
Hey, Chris, once again, I'd just like to thank Chris for entering in all of the classes and also
Dude.
winning the best shirt of the tournament yet again. Always has fine shirts that rival even that of Mr. Chance Shaw.
Yeah,
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, he better hope he doesn't show up to Tulsa because I'd hate to beat him in the shirt contest again.
Oh, absolutely. You got my vote for that one. Yeah, dude. Every class.
Have you
Yeah.
recovered from?
Yeah. So I went to practice the day after because Nick was telling me it was one of the best / worst things he'd ever done is go to a practice after a tournament. He goes, but it said it helped him in the long run. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a go. So I showed up and I was real sore, real tight in the start. But once I got loosened up, I was like, man, I feel better than I did at the tournament. Like my arms are pumped and blown up, but I felt great.
I think the pulling gets the blood into those tendons and joints that you normally wouldn't get with just regular blood flow movements.
Right.
So I think that's part of that big part of all that.
Frank's shaking his head. No, he didn't like it.
No, well, so after I went to Washington State at the end of the last year, I showed up to a small practice here in Angelo the next day, like the following Monday, and I was getting thrashed around by our 156s and our 176s. Like I couldn't.
Did you feel better though?
No, it hurt. It hurt, and it was awful. It was really bad. But yeah, so I normally I do bands and stuff like 5-pound bands, and then I'll use the free sleeves and then bands, and then like that's how I recover it. And I recovered decently quick from that, but I can't. At least that one time that I tried it, I could not pull the next day. Like that was, yeah. But then
How's
again,
your how's your team coming along? You guys having some successes on your recruiting and
Oh yeah. We have like
new guys?
we're having like decently sized practices like every 2 weeks where we're meeting up with Rodney in Abilene. We'll go to work out at his gym, or he'll come to our gym, and we get like, we'll get guys from the surrounding area. We'll try to like, it's kind of hard, right? We have to plan it out so people know when to come, because most people are driving an hour or so to get here. And
Yeah.
So, but yeah, when you get, more than 8 or 10 guys together out here in West Texas for a practice, like that's a success.
Absolutely.
And getting everyone on the same page to show up to the tournament together as a team and things like that. We took home 11 medals, I think, from the West Texas, from the one that happened in Lubbock. And, we were ecstatic. We had three guys and a girl. It was their first time pulling. It was the first tournament. They're all just a couple months in. So
yeah,
real green over here, but it makes for really good practices because very technical and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Austin took home 9 medals from that one. Way to go, guys.
Yeah, no, the teams, man, it was great. Like I'm telling you, I think that was it about this tournament. I think that was all the vibe, is looking around, and it was like there wasn't a match going on the table that didn't have somebody, like a group of guys there cheering them on.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was very.
I'll take that any day of the week. I'll take that.
Frank and Robbie, how's your guys' weight? Where you guys at?
I'm about 208 like normal.
I am 213.
How about you? Yeah, you ain't gonna make it.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not even trying to. Yeah, I had kind of cut weight last time, like half-assedly for the Lubbock tournament, and then I felt pretty weak, really, like overall. So I'm gonna compete at my natural weight class right now, which is gonna be 220. So I'm walking around like 212, and then at the end of the year, I'll try to make 198s and see, for state or something. But I'll just compete at 220 comfortably throughout the year and just just reap the benefits of that.
Great plan.
You pulling M's?
No, only open from here on out.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. This tournament was a huge progression for a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah.
Frank, Robbie, Charles Smith. Who else?
Said he's not gonna pull AMs anymore, I don't think.
Who?
Zamora?
Oh yeah, Michael Zamora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was convincing him heavily too. I was like, hey man, like if you feel like you're comfortable like to pull me and I'm gonna be pulling open, you should not be pulling AMs. And he's like, no, I think you're right. It's been talked about. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
We could get Michael to get. See, Michael's kind of like me, right? I step up to the table and like I'm not a real hype person, and it's almost like he walks up to the table just real nonchalant. He's like me, just like and I think if either both of us could figure out how to
tap into that,
amp ourselves up a little bit. It's
Billy.
Pre-workout.
Billy,
do you get excited in practice?
Face right before each match.
Do you bring energy to practice? Oh, what was that, Dustin?
I was saying, Billy, you could just let me give you a smack in the face right before each match. You'll be ready.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Ellen salts are going to kind of amp me up a little bit.
Yeah, I saw you doing
that. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just like, all right, let's go, and just, nothing going for me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's difficult for me to do. And I think if I could ever tap into that, and plus if I could ever get my training on, good Lord, if I could get my training on par.
It's tough. Yeah.
I did pre-workout pills for mine and Orlando's match. I'd never done it before, so I'm like you. I get up to the table, I'm just like, all right, let's go. But for super match, that's what I'll do from here on out.
Yeah.
Pop a couple pre-workouts. Yeah, it got me. It was just the right amount to where I had it right before we started, and it tapered off probably midway through the tournament, and like I could feel like I was just a lot of energy, ready to go. And I
You
mean,
didn't have a problem with getting over pumped?
I noticed it in the tournament, but during the super matches, I mean, my matches, win or lose, they're over quick. I mean, no matter how they go for me, they're over quick. So, yeah, it didn't really hit me until about midway through the tournament.
Yeah.
And at that point, I mean, my main goal was to pull Orlando, and then the tournament was just a bonus.
Sure.
So, but super match wise, I recommend pre-workout. But unless you get to those long, drawn out matches, you may blow up quicker. Would be the only downside I see to it.
I'm the other way around. I think having the pre-workout for the tournament, like the good constant high, is good for the tournament. But for super matches, I get overly pumped if I take anything. Because like already, like as the table is being prepared and they're saying, hey, it's this person versus this person, like I'm already like adrenaline is through the roof. So like having, and I've had like, I mean, I take pre-workout on a regular basis, but taking it right before the matches and stuff, like I'll get up there and my legs will be shaking because I'm so charged.
So amped up.
It's not helpful. It's not beneficial for me. But for a tournament, like after I break the ice, like after I knock the rust off after the first match, it levels out. Like I'm like, okay, caught my breath. Let's go.
Yeah.
But that first match normally, and then super match format, I don't know. It's weird for me.
So we got pre-workout. We got smelling salts. Dustin, what do you do?
I just come alive. I let myself at this last event just blow up.
Yeah.
And that
I noticed that.
That was the best thing I've ever done. Hands down, I'll only go that hard from now on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no voice. I couldn't speak for like 4 days. I had to call into work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
as it progressed.
That's a
go
way.
Quieter and quieter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Levi
that's
Prince
the thing.
says, "What's up, everybody?"
Oh yeah,
What's
Levi.
going on? What's going on, Levi?
We need to try to get Levi down here to compete against some of our Texas guys. I got to feel Levi a little bit at the Ride in the Ring tournament at the after pool. He didn't pull at the tournament, but pulled a little bit at the after pool. Nothing crazy. So I'd be interested.
Levi Knight?
No, Prince
Levi
out
Prince.
of Oklahoma.
Not 98er?
He's the one that wears
He's a
the
super.
Yes, yeah, super heavyweight out of Oklahoma. Yeah,
Monster.
He's tough.
Yep.
He's
Hey, Billy, can you enable screen share?
did I not?
It's not letting me.
Where do I even do that at?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe at the bottom.
Boo, 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 boo.
You might not be able to with everybody on there. I don't know.
It says one participant can share at a time.
Yeah, here hosts. Oh, here now it's working.
There you go. What are you sharing? Do
Oh,
we need to close our eyes? Oh,
nice.
can you see? You can see it, right? Yeah.
yeah. Central Region Qualifier.
in on it.
I wish I could be there. That's gonna be that tournament's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be watching the stream for sure.
All right, let me switch gears here. Let's see. Hold on one second. I'll come back in a second.
So what's after Central?
So Central, May 21st. Then we have Nationals, June 25th, 26th.
Right.
In Irving. July 30th, USA, I guess, in other words, rekindled a past relationship with a promoter and set up this tournament in Austin on July 30th, this USAA event at this NPC Bodybuilding Fitness Expo.
Is that it's not Ed and Betty Peruso, is it? The ones that do the Europa?
Yes, I believe so. I think
Oh,
I'd have to
okay.
double check, but I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I'll have to double check on that, but yeah, I think it is because Denise, when she talked to me, she did mention the people that used to do the Europa. So
Right. Okay.
Um, yeah, so they I guess they reached out to them, and that was something they used to do, and then COVID hit, and all that stuff kind of dwindled out a little bit, and now they're kind of back in it. So obviously that's in close to our backyard, and so
Bless you.
we want to help support that as well, being so close. Then so you got July 30th, then you have August 20th in San Antonio for the Southern Region qualifier. Then
We'll be back at the well once again.
Yep. Now, in the meantime, on that for your West Texas, your further west guys, Mark Perez has got his West Texas Championships in El Paso on July 23rd, I believe.
Oh yeah, I remember
So-
seeing that flyer. I think I saw it earlier today.
Yeah, I shared it out today and stuff like that. So yeah, he's got his, and it's in El Paso. So I mean, I know it's a bit of a drive, but for the West Texas boys, Mark Perez always does a good tournament. So
Yeah.
that should be a great
Mhm.
great opportunity to prep leading into September states. So
Labor Day.
hopefully
Yeah.
gonna need to be another big one, and better ran. Well, we're gonna cut the time down on that one quite a bit. So
Has there?
I can tell you right now, we did not expect what we got this past year at states.
Oh yeah. Because I tuned in for that whole stream, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like I'm kind of mad that I'm not there, but at the same time, like I'm kind of glad because I don't know if I could have
It
withstood
was
the
tough.
whole tournament. Yeah, it's a long stretch.
Yeah, we realized that. I mean, obviously, we weren't ready for it, and I will admit that. I think we'll be better prepared this time, obviously, and
Yeah.
expect that type of number. If we get it, great. If we don't, then cool too. But we'll be ready this go around for that. But the general vibe of it was everybody enjoyed states. It was long, everybody said it was long, but for the most part, everybody enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
Has there been a venue set up for that yet, or it's still to be determined?
Still in the works. There's a leading contender that I think we may be looking at, and that would be returning potentially to the Wave there in Conroe, which they want to be involved. I believe they still want to be involved. They were good sponsors. It was a great venue, beautiful on the lake, nice pool,
right on the water. Yep.
plenty of room. So yeah, it basically checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
So-
That's going to be the first place. They did, like I said, like Dustin said, they treated us really well. We did very well for them. Just like as we did in this Lubbock tournament, we got the numbers back for this Lubbock tournament, and I can guarantee you, if we go back to them, they're going to say yes.
Yeah.
So-
Lubbock was, in my mind, was to date the best
Yeah.
TAL event thus far. I mean, it was quick, efficient. I mean, the food was great. It was good space. I mean, it was all around best one I've been to so far.
Wanted to talk.
What's that?
Who said that?
Hey, Chris Hood.
Yes,
I
sir.
But
Hey, quick question for you. Because you've competed all over the place. Am I right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm well renowned or well known, but yeah, I mean, I've been around the country.
No, but you've pulled outside of Texas.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was one of the best run outside of Texas as well?
Oh yeah. As far as time wise, yes.
Yeah.
Like no offense to Leonard or Denise, but I think the way that TL is running the brackets now, going through the whole weight class and not doing a couple of matches in one class, then we're going to go over to this arm, do a couple in this one, then jump to another and another. Like it's really hard to stay warm when you jump around from class to class. knock everyone out, get them to the final two, or even finish the finals, however you want to do it. But as long as you get to the final two, that way everyone's can stay warm. And then y'all gave everyone enough time to, all right, we're about to start the finals. You can get warm back up, do what you need to do. I mean, to me, that's the way it needs to go for every tournament.
It
When
also,
when you go
it
from,
also makes it predictable.
yeah, and when you go from like 76s to supers to 98s,
Right.
42s, then back to 76s, and then you're just bouncing all over. I get you're trying to get everyone to the same amount of people, but the easy ways to do it is just knock out that weight class. And if you're already in the finals, if there's only 2 entries and you're already at that, then okay, cool. You just let them know, like, okay, we only had 2 people. It's going to be 2 out of 3 when we get to the finals. I mean, and that way everybody knows, like, okay, it's going to be a minute. I can go get some food, let it digest, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. I loved everything about the speed.
Yeah. To me, I mean, and even pulling every class like I did, I mean, a lot of people are. What was it? Right in the ring, someone was complaining about how they were having to go up back to back to back, and they did multiple classes. I'm like, you brought it upon yourself. That's nature of the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that people complain about that. If any of them do, send them my way.
We've got a couple.
Who enters multiple classes and then complains about having to pull multiple times?
Yeah. I mean,
Can't.
Lubbock was by far probably my worst showing because left-handed. I didn't win a single match, not even in my weight class. Like I went 0 and what's it, 12, 0 and 24 left-handed or however it was. Yeah, it was left-handed. I just didn't show up. I mean, right-handed it was a little better, but my
Oh, you hit. You almost got me right-handed with that hit.
That's all I can do once I get to. Well, I can't do it to the 76s because I mean, like. Because the 76s at Lubbock,
they're too fast.
It was stacked. Like they were just a lot more horsepower. But yeah, with the bigger guys, I was like, okay, they're not going to expect me to hit. So I mean, I'm going to have to try to do something to squeak a win, and it worked a couple of times. But there's also a couple of times that I had them, redline me and just drag me back over. But
yeah, you gained more experience at that tournament than anybody else, though, Chris. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I get a feel for everyone. So I mean, if I ever get to practice with them and stuff, I can learn little kinks here and there.
So let me ask you this: so there's obviously there's a strategy from. I mean, you're not a young puller; you've been around quite a while.
Yeah.
There's a strategy for younger pullers. It's touch everybody you can. Pull multiple weight classes. It doesn't matter if you win, lose, whatever. Just pull as many times as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of a strategy you're looking at right now? And at some point, are you going to taper back and say, okay, today I'm literally just pulling 54s and I'm going to see what I do?
Well, that's what I did with El Paso because it was my first time hitting 54s. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to pull 54s. That's it. I'm going to see how I do at this weight. It worked out well for me. I qualified for state. And so I said the next one is like, you know what? I was like, I'm not going to be able to go to Central. So I'm going to pull every class. I mean, why not?
Gotcha.
Support the cause, as I say. I mean,
hey,
just do what I can.
Crazy. Every class. Crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. And I mean, I don't plan on it being every once in a while. If I was going to go to Central, I'd do 54s and then I might skip 76s, 98s and do everything else. I mean, it just depends.
I don't know where he's at, but Dustin, I heard there might be a mystery entry into the tournament. And he might be a 198er. I don't know. I just don't know exactly where he's at on the weight.
Who are we talking about?
A one Artem Taraneko.
Fuck, please.
So
that could get interesting for the 98s.
It could get interesting.
Sure.
Yeah. Now I know Artem's progressed even more than what I did pull Artem in the video, the camera guy deal. And of course he beat me without a doubt. That's a tough puller, but I don't know where he's at right now. I've seen him pulling quite a bit and doing very well against a bunch of pullers out there. So, but this if he's a 198er and you guys meet up, that could be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited. I'd be honored to pull him. He's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens the day of. So him, I got a call from the Beast today. Travis will be at the Central. He will be emceeing the tournament, and Artem will be there to do some filming for Travis and his new and their new venture, their podcast and film venture and stuff like that. And you know, he did mention that Artem was going to enter the tournament, or was thinking about entering the tournament. So that'll just depend on whether or not he's a 198 or he's a 220 though. So
I have a question. What all can and can we not talk about that's going to go down at Central on this podcast?
Nothing we can't talk about.
I just want to get y'all's opinion on the recent Corey West, Robbie Burnett hype, I guess.
I'm hyped for it. It made it so much better to me. Yeah, I've never seen Robbie fired up, and I'm like, oh shit, okay.
I have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've known Robbie since I started. I mean, he's the one that started training with me after my first tournament, you know, back in 2006. And yeah, he's pretty mellow for the most part, but when he gets fired up, if he can take that fired up and still keep his mental game strong, I mean, he is
Dangerous.
Yeah, he's very dangerous. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes after the latest videos between the interviews of Corey West and Paul, and then Robbie and Paul.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I've been in some conversations and stuff like that, and like even Dustin and I talked about today, and one of the things you just pointed out is a mad Robbie, almost in any version, could be extremely dangerous. And it's funny you say that because there's always something that pops out in my mind. So if Dustin wasn't around at that time, but Gnarlygar.
Oh yeah,
Chris, you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
And I mean, I remember it so vaguely. So I was filming for Travis that day, and
Vividly.
Yeah, and James Chansey gets up to the table with Robbie Burnett, and Robbie's starting to get pissed. And James looks over at the ref and says, "I don't get him pissed off. I don't want to pull him mad."
Yeah, that was.
He was just like, "Don't piss him off. I don't want to pull him mad. Don't make him mad."
and what started it was because, again, with the mental thing, he just totally just blanked about the running fouls.
Yes,
and that's when Brian didn't stop. After the foul, he kept going, got the pin on Robbie, and I mean Robbie was hot. And I remember who was there? I was with Mike Mediter. He was an old time arm wrestler, and Ashley Weld. I told Ashley, I'm like, watch out. I was like, Robbie's pissed. He's about to run through everyone in this bracket right now. And she goes, even Chance saw. I was like, if Chance tries to top roll with Robbie, I go, absolutely, he's gonna blow through him like it's nothing. No offense to Chance or anything. It was Robbie's day, and he was highly motivated after he realized what had happened with Ryan Sitton.
Yeah,
I got a question, Robbie.
Go ahead.
Is he an attacker, or does he? So let me say this first. I started inquiring about Robbie when I got out here because I'm interested in these pullers, and I heard that he is a not top rollable. Like the wrist can't be rolled.
That is a fact. I will attest to that. No, like not on my behalf, but when he and Derek were pulling, they were talking about it, and Derek was like, "Yeah, let's see. Like, let's see how strong the wrist is." And so Derek's is going as high as he can, and he's bringing him over, but the whole arm's coming. The wrist is not cracking. The wrist is not going back.
Yeah.
And so he's getting pinned with a straight wrist, and Derek is like completely under the table, going to great lengths to try to really emphasize the pronation into the finger. And Derek was like, yeah, that looks like that hand does not go back. Very nice. And they did that several times and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty impressive.
So where my question goes then is, does he have an offensive top roll?
He's, in my opinion, he's more of containment. He'll get hand control and containment, and if he feels that if he can stay, flat wristed and just straight side pressure, but still go, just knuckles straight over, he'll do it. Very seldomly do you see him do a like a Cobra Rhodes top roll to where he's bent back, coming way out. At least the years that I've seen him, he's always going just straight over.
Yeah, I think that if Mega Mike's able to get that match inside, anybody's kind of in trouble with his inside game.
Mhm.
I think Corey's gonna have no problem rolling right over Mega, but if he tries to roll into Robbie, man, and Robbie stops that, ooh, that's an interesting situation.
So to add to that, I did see a comment the other day by Jamie Sheldon about that. And he did mention that Mega Mike's not
Top rollable.
untop rollable. Yeah. He said, but if he gets sunk in to that hook, he's extremely dangerous. So that's going to make for an interesting match, obviously, with Corey.
Yeah.
Because both these guys are, they're coming in.
Yeah. And because when everyone says, they're a hooker, there's multiple different types of hook. You got the wrist to wrist, the high top of the, high top roll hook, I guess you could say. But if you look at with Corey and Todd Hutchins at Rick Parlett's tournament last year, Corey got in his lane in a hook, drove Todd, the first match just drilled him. Todd reevaluated, came back. They were in a what looked like the same hook, but Todd he was in more of his lane. He took Corey out of his. It's just, there's so many different variants in a hook. It just depends if they have the same lane type of hook, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My understanding is Mega Mike has like a very strong, like a sticky bicep type hook, and Corey West has a hard side hitting hook. So if Mike is able to get onto his bicep, that's good for him. And if Corey's able to hit fast and sideways like he wants to, that's good for Corey and bad for him. So they will be fighting for their respective lanes there.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be interesting.
Have they drawn who's pulling who first in that?
They're doing that at the tournament is what I read.
Oh,
somewhere.
okay. So they're just going to draw numbers out of a hat type of deal.
What I heard.
Well,
really
so there's a couple different things. There's a few different things going on here. So the original kind of setup deal was, and it's there on Facebook, is Corey agreed to pull Mega Mike first because inevitably I think that's in. Corey can comment on this thread or something like that, but I believe that's the match he really wanted. Because he wants Derek Smith, right? Mega Mike is supposed to be Derek's protege, and Corey's trying to get to Derek. So I think Derek said some things about him pulling Mega Mike first. So he's like, okay, well, this is kind of what popped up first. Robbie got thrown in the mix. We were actively trying to set up a match with Ron Bath for Robbie Burnett and couldn't get that worked out. So I think what, inevitably happened was like, okay, Robbie's out here on his own now. What about this three-way type thing? And that's how it got started. So the initial setup was Corey and Mega Mike. Then I believe it was Corey and Robbie, and then Robbie and Mega Mike. And then they'd run through that 3 times. Now that this banter has hit the stratosphere, Corey has mentioned that, he wants to take that back now and draw for the bye and all this kind of stuff. But here's kind of where I'm at with this. If that was the original agreed upon rotation,
that's the way.
You guys, it's not, you guys decided to talk crap to each other. So but the agreement is the agreement. So we'll see where that goes. I think that will probably end up being inevitably the order, but
And how? So is it best of each person you go up against, or is it one and done, and then you move on?
it would. From my understanding, it's gonna be one and done, and then you'll run through the rotation 3 different times.
Okay. So you're gonna pull each. They're gonna pull the other two at least.
Yeah.
Guaranteed 3 times.
Yes.
Even if they're 0-2 to someone, they're still gonna go that third time.
Yeah. Most likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the end of it, obviously, it'll be the person with the most wins.
And
No.
I imagine if somehow that there is a tie for the most wins, then they'll just do one more match. Those 2
Sure.
people.
Yeah, why not?
Just
So
like
we don't want to leave there with questions.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's that one. I know we'll see how it goes. Obviously, the back and forth, depending upon who you are, people like it. Some people don't. At the end of the day, these guys can be mad at each other and everything like that, but I don't want there to be anything crazy going down. I don't want there to be any kind of violence. I don't want there to be any kind of fight, especially not at an event, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want anybody, they can be mad at each other and they can fight it out on the table and all that kind of stuff. But anything more than that, is just not going to be it's not going to be okay.
Right.
The magic of this sport we're in. It's just like getting in a scuff, man. Afterwards, you arm wrestle, you're all good. Just like Craig and fucking Ray. It's all good.
But you hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you'd hope so. So we'll see. I think everything will inevitably be okay. But right now, tensions are high. So, which
all I can ask is don't stop the stream.
So no, it will. I don't think if anything goes down, I don't think anybody's going to have time or the thought to go over there and let's stop the camera. It's like, let's keep these 2 big bastards apart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, love Robbie. Huge fan of Robbie, man. I can't say that enough.
Yeah.
I wish that he had a little bit different outlook on the sport, unfortunately, due to his experience with it. But huge Robbie fan. Want nothing but the best for the guy. I want him to have I want him to come to our event and have an enjoyable time. I don't want him to get there pissed and leave pissed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
hopefully we can do that.
Does anybody know what Brandon Alcessor's weighing?
So the agreement is 220
Oh,
to come in at 220.
okay. Great.
Yep. That's my understanding. So So Brita should be at 220. Now I don't know if they necessarily agree to anything. I'm not sure where Dimitri's at. But I know at least for like the Jonathan and all that, the goal is 220. So,
and it's Brita and Cesar, what, left hand only, correct?
Yes, left hand only, and then Dimitri and Brandon right hand.
Who are y'all's picks for that specific match?
Dimitri. All day.
Dimitri's.
No problem.
All right, and what about the Brita Cesar left hand match?
So that one,
Oh,
to me, I'm borderline 50-50. I mean, because Brita, he's been on a streak, he's been on a streak lately, but then it's hard to look past what Cesar did with Bajent. I mean, now granted,
Agreed.
that was off the couch.
doesn't matter. I agree with you.
Yeah, but it's still Bajent, and he was definitely known as the best left-handed in the world for, however long it was.
That means he can get off the couch and
Yeah,
do a lot of-
Oh yeah.
yeah.
100%. Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah. So
I'm torn on that one.
I think if here's my prediction, and I know Brita is ready for this, so I guess I can go ahead and say this. I'm gonna lean towards Brita on this one. On that one, yes, I'll lead towards Dimitri. I don't know. Dustin may have a little bit more insight on Dimitri. Dimitri's training, right? He's getting ready, right?
Dimitri's always ready.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. But there's like a regular Dimitri, and then there's a serious Dimitri, and those two are, even though super like dangerous, there's like a level there, right?
Yeah, but I gotta say, I think any Dimitri, the way that Brandon pulls, he's in trouble with a like Dimitri, that wrist like Dimitri.
Yeah.
Like the last match that Brandon lost. It's yeah, he's in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Brandon's been doing a lot of pulling too, man. The dude's pulling everywhere, man. Like he's already got like 5 other matches lined up after this one.
Yeah, I thought he was heavier than 220 though. I thought he was like a 238 guy.
Oh, that's just water weight for 220 then.
Yeah, I thought
drop that in a day
for pulling, right? Pulling wise, usually is around 238 at tournaments.
Anthony Lowe says both of those Dimitris, the off the couch and the ready Dimitri beat him.
Yeah, I just know that.
Well, join the club, Anthony.
Me too, brother.
I feel like Dimitri's too damn strong.
So here's the thing too, like there's a style there. So like in my little bit of like a moment of existence in pulling Dimitri, there's that style and how he pulls that, like for me, is anybody I generally encounter with that, I have a hard time. It's something it's difficult. And I just don't know what it is. I can't figure it out.
What was
good coaching?
Dimitri's last one?
He is whatever level he wants to put the time in to be. And off the couch Dimitri, in my opinion, is at a level that there's no one in Texas besides Robbie Burnett that he has to put in real time for. And so I guess it would be pretty hard to train to be the best if you're running through people.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm totally on board with that.
What was Dimitri's last match? Because the only one that I can think of was his and Robbie's match, and that was
John Brzezinski.
John Brzezinski.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
That was what he did.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I haven't. You can talk about where John was at that time, but I haven't seen John pull a match yet that looked like that was as difficult as that match.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, because I think Chance got one win on him, but I think that was more or less just strap battling. I mean, him and Dimitri, when they went at it, they were cordial about the setup. They were pretty fair on each other. They weren't trying to rise up, when the strap is being tightened or anything like that.
Hey, arm wrestling Derek in the house. Derek Smith.
No.
What's going on, Derek?
No. He's got a
All
big
right, let me get to this
weekend.
real quick. I'll get to a few questions we got here on that. So Levi Prince, he asked a question that he really wants me to ask. Let's see. What does everyone think the best arm wrestling routine is? Let's say exercises, sets, reps, range, and how many days of the week?
What do you think, Chris?
Well, I don't work out at all. I'll table time. So, I mean, if you ask me, table time is the best exercise and training you can get. I mean,
Twice a week.
You got to build attendance. When I first started, it was me and Robbie consistently for the longest time. I'd drive out to his house every weekend, 4, sometimes 6 hours. We'd go at it, and I would try to get as right a workout, but just could never do it. Eventually my left came around, and I could, I got to where I'd start to beat him, regularly whenever I got big. So, I mean, once a week, but now since the sport has evolved and you got a lot more people in it, twice a week, so if you practice on a Saturday, Wednesday, you should be nice and healed up. Try to hit one Wednesday and then just rinse and repeat. if you have the team and the time to do that. Yeah. But working out wise, I am the worst to ask because like I said, I don't work out. I have bands, but that's mostly just to get loosened up or warmed up before tournaments.
Yeah, same here. Same here. What about you, Dustin?
I have a piece I'd love to ask or bring to this. So I come from strength and conditioning coaching for athletes. I did it for years professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I bring that back sport for me, and I'm rather new. And there's two trains of thought that I think you need to have. I think Todd Hutchings is the best to follow for anybody that is already in the game, already pulling, especially at an open level. I think he's fantastic to carry you further. Probably the best to carry you further. Or Western Barbell, West Side Barbell. That whole methodology is fantastic. But the two schools of thought that I like to highlight for anybody getting into the sport is there's two ways to come into it. If you're a weightlifter guy, like I was a weightlifter guy, or the Larrys of the world would be easy to recognize. Table time is everything. Even mimicking table time is fantastic and all, but the hands, getting in your hands, fucking up your wrist, getting all those weird different angles, that's paramount. Twice a week, just dig through the pain, show up hurting, keep going through the hurt. 6 months of that. I mean, now I don't even hurt. Even after Lubbock, after pulling till 2 the next day, I'm all good. Way cool. Like I've conditioned to it. If you're a big dude or a guy who just like didn't really do any kind of gym work and you get into arm wrestling, your initial time in the gym, your first 6 months of bench press and whatnot, stand by.
While he's on hold there, Frank, what about you?
I'm actually sharing a spreadsheet to the chat, so that will be the answer for me. But I think it's a combination between doing tendon work, so high repetition, lower weight, do specific exercises that do that. Rice bucket. I think people underrate it. Everyone I know is like, oh yeah, I'm going to get one soon. And then they never do. And then, they don't win. So, but then, and then I've actually asked a couple of people about training very heavy because to me, arm wrestling is a 1 rep max, like the 1 rep max at the table. And I understand there's a lot of conclusion to draw between being able to lift 50 pounds 50 times and being able to lift 120 pounds once. Like they develop the same type of strength after a certain time because of how your muscles work. But I think training the explosiveness, training the 1 rep max, it's pretty important because it's what you do at the table. Anyone who brings up endurance, I just tell them you're doing a 1 rep max and then you have a couple minutes to recover before you do another, which if you ever did powerlifting or anything. And I know Dustin's going to disagree with me. We've already had this conversation, but
yeah. To end that thought.
Go ahead.
Where I was at though, in terms of being a guy who has not spent time in the gym, if you can find your way to that gym, the gains you're going to get in your first 6 months are going to be out of this world. And so taking advantage of the things you can get, and I am talking deadlift, squat, and bench press, there are legs involved in that piece of this puzzle because of your hormone changes are going to be naturally through the fucking roof. And you should definitely take advantages of those before you just go, I'm just going to do arm wrestling training in the gym. I'm going to pull on this pulley over and over again. Man, do some deadlifts, get your foundation really strong. And just like Derek just said, it's all about your journey and where you're at and where you start based on where you really should spend the most time, because energy is your currency. So wherever you're going to spend that currency, it's everything towards moving fast and progressing through the sport for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you come from a strength background already, you're just already a strong person, table time, hand.
Yeah, table time.
Like Dustin told me, he's like, I'm just real. I do all my normal stuff, a little bit of arm wrestling and a whole lot of hands. Because it worked for him. His hand is his weakest link. He's already super strong. He's been working out for 20 years. Other people who aren't in that scenario should probably also work on tendon strength, getting strong and table, it's a good, Derek provided a good answer, right? Depends on where.
No,
you
that
are.
was a great answer. Yeah, for sure.
And it also depends on, like, even more so, do you want to be someone who exclusively top rolls, exclusively hooks, exclusively does XYZ, or do you want to be well-rounded on the table? Do you want to be a Todd Hutchings side pressure guy? Do you want to be a fast hitter? There's of course, it depends on what you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Mr. Corey Miller.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
What's
Goes
up,
the
man?
neighborhood.
It's a bad man right there.
That is.
you want to hit fast like Flash, train like Corey.
Yeah.
Were your ears burning, Corey? We were talking about your bracket system.
Frank and I talk like practically daily. So now these days, he's all blowing me up that you guys are on some podcast. I was like, what?
Yeah. Well,
So I had to
let's
jump
dive in.
Yeah, tell us about the new system that you're working on.
Well, I mean, it's something I've been wanting to do for a long, long time, and I'm kind of glad that Frank hit me up about helping me out, because I mean, I know some database stuff, but I'm not like a super programmer by any means of the imagination, but he is. So together we're building something that's going to greatly expand the sport here, and it's going to open some people's eyes to a different way of looking at how I'm rated against another person. Because everybody is all about this. Well, I'm number 50th and you're 51, but really, are you between 50 and 51? Is that a 1 point difference, or is that 1,000 point difference? So you really don't know when it gets that low. But with this system, eventually, not in the beginning, I would say, but eventually, you will be able to tell who is the 100th person and who is the 101 person, down to a very, very precise science.
Not just some ordinal ranking.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, you beat him, so you take his spot, shift it down a notch.
Right.
Then you end up in these games of rock, paper, scissors. Frank beats Corey, Corey beats Dustin, but Dustin beats Frank. Whoever pulled most recently is going to be at the top of that list.
Yeah.
But that's not like, really representational of how good they are in their community, which is how ELO works, right? How good are you versus your peers?
I think a lot of people need to understand when we're going to this transition that we're not trying to replace rankings. We're not. Rankings will always be valid for someone's opinion on who they think is the best at that time. But this will replace eventually this will replace the idea of, how do I know if a guy is a pro, an amateur, novice? How do I know who is the best at one time or another? All that kind of like redefining the top, let's say, I don't know, 5 through 1,000 people. It will help greatly define those. But the top 5 guys, maybe, we'd all say, well, Devin's up here, but really in the rating system, he doesn't exist because he doesn't have enough points. But you know what I'm trying to get at is, as far as tournament-based pullers and super match-based pullers who are consistently pulling, you will know where you stand against other people.
Yeah, much so we almost considered throwing in the word tournament into the rating name somehow, because we knew that was going to be like, it's for people who frequently pull tournaments.
What did you all name it? What is it, or did you name it yet? Or?
Yeah, we named it AERS, which is Armwrestling ELO rating system. Has a Facebook page and everything else. So they'll eventually have a web page and to display everything. So they'll have breakdowns of the pullers and a list, so you can kind of jump through the classes, jump through arms, jump through divisions, all that kind of stuff. Eventually, we'll have
a competitor page.
Things.
Bring up Corey Miller versus Frank Callahan. What's their record? Where did they last pull? Stuff like that.
Very cool.
We're building it to expand into the future. So we're not thinking small right now. We're trying to think as big as possible, so that eventually down the road we have all the bases covered. And it's a huge undertaking, I'll tell you that, because I think all you guys run my system, but as far as my system goes, I've had to change. I don't even know how much nonsense I've had to change just to make this export work properly. And eventually I'll get you guys switched over to it. But I'm almost
Yeah,
ready to
We're
deploy
ready
it out.
anytime, man. Anytime we're ready.
How
Yeah.
many promoters roughly, I mean, are you think are using your system across North America or in even more places, I guess? Is there,
Well, worldwide, I'm probably somewhere around 30 to 40 people.
okay, so yeah, that's a
Yeah, I
healthy
think I
number.
saw somebody posting a deal of your system out of it was another country, India or something like that.
It was probably the South African guy or the African
Okay.
guy. Then there's
Yeah,
a guy.
that would make sense. Yeah.
There's another guy in the Philippines that's looking at it right now, and then there's a Zimbabwe or something weird. It was hard to speak English to the guy, but Leonard Denise know him, and we jabber back and forth on Facebook Messenger. But there's probably at least 15 promoters overseas that are using it, let alone
Wow.
Canada. Canada has 3 different versions. Those guys, oh my gosh, they're ridiculous.
Well, if you need an endorsement, we'll surely provide it. It's really helped our tournaments run, much better and gosh, seeing some of these old handwritten brackets and trying to, I've literally seen tournaments just completely, erroneously run because somebody messed up with the handwritten bracket and
Oh yeah.
your system's changed that completely. So thank you for that. And for sure.
Yeah, and I like to tell people, I'm not trying to make $1 million off this thing. I built it for the love of arm wrestling. My intention was never to sell it for billions of dollars, but and it's grown substantially since I've first made it. I mean, hell, when I first did it was pretty basic. I just hated doing paper, so I needed something digital. And but the end goal, I mean, in all reality, the end goal is to eventually get it somewhat online based, where it has more of a system that has a database of pullers and that ties the ratings and everything's automatic. And eventually we'll get there. It's just I know the community of arm wrestling promoters, and Wi-Fi based anything is pretty much like a hard one to struggle with, because like I can't always guarantee a tournament's going to have Wi-Fi or some type of internet connection or whatever, which a lot of places are getting better, don't get me wrong, but there is still the tournaments that are ran at fairs and everything else that will never be reliable. And if all I have to tell them is, hey, you can bring a computer and turn it on and plug it in, you're good to go. It doesn't, you don't need anything else. And so
totally agree. Yeah.
I need to have that ability to do not only the online version eventually, but also the version that's on-prem, and then you can export out afterwards and stuff, and then grow from there. But
and I noticed both IFA and WAF are using it, right? Is that correct?
Well,
maybe I didn't say that right. USAF and USAA possibly.
No, you said it fine. I just wanted to slightly clarify something there. So, IFA internally to the United States, Leonard, Denise, and myself are running my system most of the time. I know there is times where Denise will go off and do paper again or whatever, but and so yeah, that's that part of things. But the USAF one, as far as nationals go, I wasn't even supposed to go to that tournament. I was a last minute deal. I got asked on Monday afternoon to show up and run the brackets. So I know Simon and them plan on running the WAF draw sheet from now on. They just didn't have enough time to get it up and running and tested or anything else before the tournament. So they called me, or Luke Polsher called me that week and said, hey, is there any way you can make it out here and run your system? And I was like, oh geez. So, but I ended up pulling it off, and my arm hurt like hell, and I ended up arm wrestling a moron. So I, just winged it all across the board, just arm wrestle, brackets, the whole 9 yards.
Why not? Yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, I don't want to say that they're using mine permanently, but they are probably going to end up going straight to the WAF draw sheet version.
Yeah.
Good,
But,
good deal.
Absolutely.
so-
And Frank, how did you guys meet? Did you just reach out to him?
Corey
to
and I?
Yeah.
I saw a podcast where Chance was getting flamed for the rankings, and I was inspired. And so I pinged Chance on Discord and was like, "Hey, do you know what ELO is?" He's like, "Yes, of course." I was like, "Do you think it would work well for arm wrestlers?" He's like, "I think that would be amazing. It would take a lot of the biasness out of the game, and but unfortunately, I don't think there's much help in the community. You know, no one's going to really put something like that together. A lot of time and energy." And I was like, "Okay, what if I knew a person who could do it? What would you say?" He was like, "I'd get that person in touch with Corey Miller. He runs most of the brackets." And I was like, "All right." And then so I got in touch with Corey Miller, and you know, Corey and I had a short conversation, and I think he was kind of sold too. He was like, "I've been waiting for someone else to have this idea." And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "So what do you do?" And I was like, "Software engineering and stuff." And he's like, he does data. And he was like,
Perfect.
"So what if so like, what do you think?" So like that night, and I'm actually looking, I have the initial bit of code put together. It was on it was the second month of the year. So what that February 5th was the first evening that I put like a sample together of like a sample bracket and said, "Hey, if everyone started off of these values, this is what they'd be after the fact." And I'm just reading and writing from a file. And I showed it to Corey, and we went over and over and over. And he was like, "Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Oh, let's change like this. Let's change like that." And we did it. He's like, "Yeah, that's nice." And I was like, "All right, well, I guess I'll try to turn that into an app now." And then since then, there's like 47 commits of work. And we just actually had a breakthrough the other evening where the retroactive calculation works now. So like you can just like the idea is like drag and drop any tournament regardless of the date. And because like normally, right, you'd have to calculate in order, like A, B, C, like in order in which the tournaments fall. But like this, why we're backfilling all the data, because we want to release it with as much data as possible. You can just drag and drop and it will like retroactively recalculate all the way up until present time. So that way now,
Gotcha.
now that's not an issue. So now Chance can call up and say, "Hey, I just stumbled across some tournament results from Florida from, 2020, in mid COVID where we had this small tournament." We can say, "Yeah, we'll throw that in there, drag and drop, and it doesn't affect anything. Well, it affects things, but it affects things, in the right order." And so we just had that breakthrough the other evening, did some show and tell, talked about how fast we want your elo to move after matches. The big thing we've been talking about lately is how do we do amateurs and pro? Like I'm edging on the side of having two separate elos. I think Corey and Bob want to like combine them somehow, but make it, where it really shows where an amateur is and where a pro is. And so we've been going back and forth on that. And it's good, really good work to try to make it to where it's like, "Hey, Frank, you're, a 2200 AM. Probably should start pulling, you're a low level pro. You're probably still going to lose a lot in pros, but you're a high level amateur. So it's time to make the transition."
So, this could also help us out here in Texas,
Oh, it's going to be really great for states like Texas. Like I wanted to get all the data for Texas because y'all are the best guinea pigs, because I don't think any state hosts as many tournaments as Texas does every year.
Good Lord.
And,
No.
Yeah.
No.
And like,
trust me. No, I can't schedule anything because there's so many dang tournaments.
Yeah. And we know enough, like I know enough of the community where, I can kind of like spot check the results as I go. I can see the names and be like, "Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense." Or like, "Oh, okay." And, it's going to be really great for Texas because obviously the more data you have, the more matches you have, the more accurate it is. It's not going to be accurate after 3 tournaments, 4 tournaments. It's not, it's, that's just not how it works, right? Like when you play a game of chess, I think there's like 10 to 15 provisional games. And then you have like even more after that. And so that's, again, like we're trying to figure out like how fast should your score move? Because, some people arm wrestle infrequently. There's a lot of people who come out of the cave once a year, twice a year. And those guys, they could be monsters, but they're going to have a shitty elo. Like they're going to be, at the starting value, and people are like, "This is bugged. It doesn't work right." And it's like, well, that guy's only arm wrestled like twice in 2 years. Like, Yeah, it's of course not going to work for him, but it's going to be
Yeah.
accurate for Frank and Dustin and Billy and Corey, these guys who are pulling all the tournaments all the time across the country. Like it's going to be accurate for them. So
Yeah.
Well, it also will be accurate for the people who pull a lot and don't win a lot either.
right. That's the big thing, right? Like you don't know like how good is Frank versus Robbie, right? Like we know, how we pull against each other, but how do he and I do against other people in our
Everybody
community?
else. Yeah.
There's not a really great way to judge that, right? And
My prime example person is Tim Lewis.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
he literally pulls everybody. He pulls more than anyone I know. But do you really know how good Tim Lewis is just because he pulls all these random one-off people that half of us know? Like we don't really know how good he is, and this would actually show where he actually stands rather than him just pulling. He's just pulling a whole bunch of nobodies and he's not gaining any points, and he's getting 1-2 measly points at a time. Whereas if he just knew, hey, I'm not going to pull these guys anymore, I'm going to pull the better guys. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It gives you incentive to actually go out and know that you're beating guys who are better than you, not just pull the same Joe Schmoes anymore.
I was going to say that's an excellent segue into the whole point of like,
Yeah.
promoting you to go pull better people, not going to the Joe Schmo tournament just to rack up an easy medal, but like showing up to California State or, nationals or, a bigger tournament where there's going to be higher caliber people and you're going to, ideally earn some points for that. And,
it's perfect.
Climb the ladder. Right. And like cross state matches and stuff would be really ideal. Cause what's going to happen like naturally is like Texas is going to have its own little pocket of Elo. The wet, like the Northwest is going to, if those people aren't pulling each other, like we could have an inflated value because we pull more frequently. And so like to help spread that out, hopefully people are coming to Texas and pulling here in our tournaments. And hopefully people in Texas are, getting off the couch and going to these other states and pulling in there. And that way, you keep the competition high, you keep the Elo equal. That's how it works. And I'm excited for it personally. Like, that's why I'm so vested. That's why I spend almost every waking moment that I'm not at work or hanging out or working out, working on it.
I'm glad that, I'm talking to somebody that is like
committed
of the same cloth. Like I've got no minute that it's not involved in arm wrestling.
Yeah. Like you don't understand, like my day, my day is literally like I'm at work, doing my normal stuff. And then like I'm at dinner with Jackie and I'm like, she's like, what are you thinking about? I'm like, Corey wants us to combine the amateurs and the pros somehow. And I don't know, like Elo's expectation to win. So what is the expectation of a win between an average amateur and an average pro? It's like 100%, right? How do I represent that in Elo? 500 plus points. And Jackie's just staring at me. She's like, is that what you're thinking about right now? I'm like, yeah. I've been thinking about it all day.
What I'm thinking about right
now. Frank, we're starting to get into that weirdo camera guy territory, guys.
And you guys
leave the camera guys alone.
Can you guys address Anthony Lowe, what he's saying here about, it's the same kind of question I have. What if you pull 220, 230, 240, 240, 43 plus?
So you have a separate Elo.
And
what have an Elo per arm, per class, per division.
What classes?
Good.
The weight classes, we're actually using, and I forget what they were. I talked to Bob about this, but we're using 155, 176, 198, 220, 242, 242 plus. And then we are, if you're in a tournament that doesn't respect those weight classes, it's a roundup rule. So if the tournament is hosting a 165 class, that will like those
176
will get put into the 176 bucket. Because we can't go down, right? So if it's a 210 tournament, those 210 results get put into the 220 bucket. And if you pull up Corey Miller's going to have an Elo for every class because he pulls every weight class. And you'll have a separate Elo per arm. So you have a right-handed and a left-handed. And you can see how good am I in the 220s, how good am I in the 198s. You'll have your separate Elos.
The 205s fall under 220s?
It will, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And we talked about this. Like I talked to Bob about this just recently. Like, maybe like some tournaments that do like a 156 class. What do we do? It's going to round up into the 176s. And that's like
Oh, yeah.
almost not fair. So do we give a 1 pound lenience? It's like, well, how do you decide? You know, Corey was like, maybe we do. And I was like, but how far, like, do I just do like
Yeah.
a split
How
in the
far is
middle,
too
like
far?
round up, round down?
I'm-
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a gray area. It's, you
My-
know, and I talked to the guy who made the Aussie arm wrestling rankings too. And he told me he ran into the exact same problem. It wasn't as severe because arm wrestling is just so infrequent over there. When the tournaments are hosted, they normally have all the same weight classes. So
Yeah.
and so it wasn't that big of a deal for them. But he did say that I would do what you're doing already. What you're doing is the right answer. And I was like, well, good. You know, that was settled.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm okay with like a 1 or 2 pound maximum. You know, like if it's 55s, it should be in the 54s because those guys would pull 54s all day. But if it's 165, it ain't going down to 54s. It's going
Oh,
to
sure.
76s.
Yeah.
But we had to make some type of generic, you know, standardized format, which I know 205 is kind of like that gray area of the guy might not be able to make 98, but he still pulls 220s all day long.
Yeah.
You know, that just kind of sucks for arm wrestling in general because it seems like the United States is all about just what's a magic number I can make up today, and you can pull this 182.735. Okay.
oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
you see it all the time across the state. I see these flyers because I'm on all the arm wrestling pages because I just like to see what's up. And I see these crazy weight classes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
who came up with that? Like, why and I know why they do it. They do it because they're trying to find out like equal, like natural body weights and not having so many classes because, you know, they're not all.
I think you're giving them too much credit.
No, I think what they're trying to do.
One of those guys
weighs
weighs like 216 pounds. So
Yeah.
they come
Yeah,
up
you
with a
see that.
216 pound weight
It's
class.
weird, right? It's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel
but-
like at Denise and Leonard's events, it's been 205 was the like 98 guys, and at the same tournaments, I'd pull all the 98s would be the 205ers I'd pull from Denise's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. We just had to come up with some type of standardization, you know, and conform people to it because otherwise we just have 1,000 weight classes.
Yeah.
But you know,
we stuck with those weight classes because they seem to be across the board the most commonly used weight classes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you know, now we've done some work in the women's classes, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but if we could
And I
just
think-
get some.
I think
Go ahead.
women we did what three classes, 4 classes.
Yeah, I'll bring it up. I have it right in front of me.
We're trying to say semi.
Yeah.
I think it was 3 or 4
For
but-
women, we have 135.
I think that's a good start.
We have
sure.
135, 154, 176, and 176 plus.
Yep, that one.
I think you could probably go a little higher than that, and you know, considering you're gonna have a lot of women in that 176 plus class.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
A lot of women.
I just did like a random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a
And
spur
that's-
of the moment decision. And
Yeah.
to
Oh,
change
sure.
it-
Look, I'm
Yeah.
not criticizing you at all.
Oh no,
I
for
mean,
sure. And
yeah.
no, it's good because we need the feedback because you know, you host tons and tons of tournaments, right? So you know, like you have.
I tell you right now, the Texas women are beasts,
there's some,
and I don't mean that in a bad way at
No,
all.
I know.
Some of these ladies are straight up tanks, and I mean, put a hurting on guys. I am giving them that's a full fledged compliment. But yeah, what we found too is that you got to split up that heavier class because you're gonna have some. You're gonna have. That's gonna be a very big class, the 176 plus, if you don't split that up. But hey, I'm not criticizing.
Well, no, I mean, I just take it as good feedback because
a
now
great
maybe
start.
after this,
Yeah.
Corey is going to say, "Hey, add a 198 for women or something," you know, and I'll be like, "All
Oh
right,
yeah,
sure."
it's a great
Yeah,
start.
we-
Oh no,
Yeah.
We currently
so-
have 4, and the goal is to get to 6. My personal goal is to try to help get the ladies
Well-
division up to 6 classes within 2 years. So that's my plan.
And the good thing about this is that all we had to do is go into the thing and just say, okay, we're gonna add another 198 to whatever, and
And we
next
can
thing
just
you know, it splits them
rerun
again.
all of the tournaments, which takes
And there you go.
like how many times did I run the brackets last night during testing, Corey? Like
A
a
couple thousand.
couple of thousand times. Yeah, no, like he's not kidding. Like
I ask a lot.
who did a lot of testing. He's like, hey, can you run these 2 separate files for me? Run this one 40 times, this one 40 times, and tell me what, because we're trying to find like min maxes and stuff like that. And we're really trying to make this sure that it's polished. We don't want to just wing it and then figure it out on the fly, because we know no matter what, people are going to complain. And so,
I mean, this is arm wrestling. We can't go a day without complaining about something.
oh, I mean,
I mean,
someone's gonna
Jesus.
say
That
this
is true.
doesn't match my top 10, my Facebook top 10.
Oh my God. I mean,
Don't
Yeah,
you guys
but
start
hey,
bringing
you
up
guys-
LinkedIn on
you
here,
guys
okay?
are doing-
You're crazy.
a great job. I love it. I love the idea.
Yes.
I think it does. Some people won't care about it. Sure. But I think it does promote competition, and the fact that,
Mhm.
like you said, it's going to literally visualize a landscape of, so you'll be able to look at it. And just like you guys were saying just a minute ago, you'll be able to look at it and go, I'm not doing anything by arm wrestling these same guys,
Right.
because their elos aren't giving me anything.
Sure.
Well-
I've got to go into this other bracket of guys over here if I want to really progress my elo score.
Yeah.
I've got to branch into this other market over here with these guys that have higher scores. I can't, and I'm not saying I don't obviously want to discourage competition here in Texas, but that's kind of the goal, right? Is, hey, get out and be better than, your locality.
There's one thing that I haven't actually announced or anything, but there's a huge movement behind this ranking, or I keep using rankings, this rating system that the end goal will be to put betting behind it. And when you start thinking of stuff like UFC that has positive negatives on winning and pulling, this is going to do that for that. So all your guys at super matches that you do all the time, you could put technical odds behind people, and
Wow.
then you can start seeing where this is going as far as betting goes. We have a legitimate rating system that has the years of data behind it. The ability to bet on somebody becomes like pristine, and you don't need to know shit about arm wrestling. And all you gotta know is Frank's a minus 1,000. Oh, I'm betting on him for sure, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that, that is something that I'm actively working on the side once this is rolling.
That's huge.
That could change, lives right there with betting happening.
I mean, this kind of goes into this whole thing, right? So we created quite a controversy here in Texas. We did something out of the box, right? We did something different. We created a ranking system that you got to pull if you want to be ranked. You can't sit back and just chill and decline people's challenges and all this other kind of stuff. You're going to arm wrestle if you want to hold this rank. And yeah, it's controversial. I mean, people don't want to be forced to do anything. And at the end of the day, you know what? You don't have to participate in this at all. But the fact of the matter is that I've only been in this a short time, and it should not take anybody with any time in the sport to realize we've got to start doing something different. We've got to start doing different things with this. We cannot continue. If I look back over the course of history, we're doing the same things. Everybody wants the same things, and hasn't gotten us anywhere.
Well,
nowhere.
And I'm not saying that your guys' thing wasn't great or anything, but the idea behind ELO, or this in general, I should say, was not to force people to arm wrestle more.
Sure.
It was actually to concrete and redefine competition. So you're not actually, I'm not telling you need to go out and arm wrestle everybody, because that's not how your ELO is going to go up. Your ELO is actually going to go up by going and pulling the best people you possibly can pull all the time.
Exactly.
So I don't care if you pull 6 times a year. If you pull 6 times a year and it's against the best people you can possibly pull against, that makes your ELO go up. Not
absolutely
Tim Lewis, who pulls 1,000 tournaments and wins 20% of the time. That won't make your ELO go up.
Yes. Yeah. No, and I wasn't comparing us. I was just comparing the fact that it's different.
I was saying a side effect is you get to have a spotlight on your local heroes.
Right.
Like there's a lot of guys here in Texas who I think are really, really good. But if you're not in Texas, you don't know who they are.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there's people like that in every state. There's these silent killers who pull in all the local tournaments who are the best guys in each state, but like, how good are they outside of that state? Maybe this is something that can, put a spotlight on those guys and says, oh, you guys have a guy that's, 2,200 plus. We have a guy that's around the same score.
Yeah.
Like, they should pull, and people do that already, but like, it's completely pocket picks, right? Like, just completely coming out of the air. This is something tangible to make those.
Let me run this by you, and you can kind of elaborate on this. So this system would also allow too, and like you're talking about, seeing how you stand outside of your locality and state and stuff like that. If let's just say you and I, Frank, are in the same class. If you were going out and pulling all these better pullers, and then you come back to Texas,
I bring that elo back with you. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Then I'm gaining that because it's grading me across the landscape, even with people that you pull.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. And so that's why, like, it's exceptionally good for people to be, because it's already going to happen, right? Like, us hosting 12 tournaments a year here in Texas, we're going to have like a slightly inflated pocket of elo because we were all pulling so frequently. And my elo in Texas could be, say it's 2,000. That's like pretty good. But I go to, West, California, and I get smashed. And it's because, maybe their elos aren't as high there because they're not pulling as frequently, but they do have just, off the wall talent that, I wasn't prepared for or whatever. And so I bring that elo back to me. So like, it's kind of like they brought my elo down, right? They all took some points off of me because it's kind of like you steal points from people who are better than you and you lose them to people who are worse than you. And then obviously if you're equal, it's an equal split. Like if you beat me and we're both equal, it's plus 16 to you, minus 16 for me. And I told Corey the other night, I looked into Glico, I looked into Glico 2, I looked into the way they do ELO for Go. I even looked at how they do it for competitive first-person shooters. And I think the ELO that we are using right now is most like it's the best fit for arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I looked into all the systems to try to figure out, is there anything that's going to fit our standards of the frequently of how often people pull and how much is one match worth it. And I think it's ELO, like the way we're doing our calculation is the best for sure.
And Billy, what you mentioned on is exactly what I was talking about, where you're bringing that ELO back with you so that now your Texas has these, 2,500 guys. And now I can go and say, hey, wait a minute, the AERS system says the best guys to pull are in Texas. I'm going to go to Texas tournaments. And that's right there is what we need promoters to stand behind and say, we have these guys here come to our events because of it. And if everyone gets behind AERS and builds it up like that and saying, well, I got a 3,000 guy down here, or whatever, that is going to bring those people in and bring people from outside the state that you don't normally see because they want to beat the best people. You know what I mean?
Oh, so
in chat, someone had asked about what happens if you get a really high elo and the tournament you're going to doesn't have great elo. Like if I was traveling outside of state, it's not much bang for your buck. It's a really good comment. One of the things we talked about is people are going to probably become like real local heroes, and they're just going to really bang up on guys and try to inflate their elo to a point where it's probably not that accurate, and then try not to pull, or they're going to only pull one small tournament a year to stay active. We're going to try to do things that will make it to where that's harder to do. Yeah. If someone wants to do something like that and they're sharking their competition, only picking tournaments, they know that, first of all, that's just not a good person and they're not good for the community anyways.
You don't say.
But second of all, if that does happen, we are definitely we've talked about this and we're going to do things to try to make it to where the effects of something like that are dampened. So I just know people are going to say it. People are going to mention it in the chat. People are going to complain about it later. Just want you to know we're doing the best we can. So
that brings it up too. Is like if I'm a 3,000 and all I pull is 1,500s, I don't gain shit. I mean, I'm getting 0.01 point from them, and it's not going to help me at all. So it doesn't, like Frank said, you can sit down and beat around your chumps around your town for a while, but eventually that comes up to play to where you don't gain no more points and it's not worth it to you anymore.
Yeah.
So you want to go out and you want to pull better people. You want to travel. You want to do that,
Yeah.
stuff like
Well, and I think to Frank's point is that I think you will have guys that will rack up a little bit of an elo and then they'll sandbag that, right? So
Sure.
they don't care if they're pulling 1500s every day. I got a 3,000 point. So I'll just pull this, random tournament over here against nobody's.
Because
I keep
they're
my score.
risking, they're not going to climb from that, but if they know that
Yeah.
they can win, they're not going to lose anything from it.
But it's just like
again,
trophy
yeah.
hunters, right?
Yeah, trophy
Yeah.
hunters.
I just want to see my 3,000 score. I don't
Now-
really care to gain any
Tell
more
me
points.
who that guy is, and
Yeah.
I'll ring up DeWoody over here and send him that way. DeWoody,
You
Yeah,
gotta-
right.
you also got to realize for
he's-
someone to sandbag into that position is going to be awfully difficult.
Yes,
I mean,
it would be
you're going
very
to
hard.
still have to pull fairly decent people
Oh, sure. Yeah.
consistently. So
Mhm.
in a reality, that's actually not a bad thing. But for them to not pull, we're going to put a check in place that says if you're inactive for X amount of time, blah blah. We're
Love
going
it.
to force you to pull. Is basically what it's going to end up happening. At least
I think you
once
should
a
pull.
year.
I mean, this is competition. I don't. I never did get that idea of, well, I'm going to hold a spot or I'm going to hold a place, and I'm going to basically refuse everybody that comes to me, or I'm going to ask some sort of ridiculous thing in which nobody will be able to pull me, and then I'll go to a random, tournament up in the Pine Sticks somewhere, pull some, like you said, county fair champion, and I'll remain active for the next year.
Yeah, and- I mean, Frank and I ran tests last night that basically proved this point. I mean, for an example, if I pull the same guy like 80 to 90 times, I don't really go up a ton of points. Like there's a
Yeah.
certain level that I kind of max out at by pulling the same people over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
It'll
So-
plateau until you
Yeah.
get to someone who is better.
Yep.
Sure.
So
Legally,
that,
as the same thing for like when you kill, someone over and over, you don't get the same points
Yeah.
for if, were to start doing really well and then you kill him, you would get 4 points. It's, that's what y'all are basically trying to like explain, right?
Something
so-
along those lines. Yep.
Yeah, there's a certain maxed out value of points that you can earn by beating someone who is, technically speaking, you should lose to 100% of the time. That would be the max amount of value of points you can earn. And then there's a minimum value of points you can earn plus lose, minus plus whatever. So to win, you'd have to be consistently pulling better people that are higher than you, that your win rate is basically 100%, or you have to, your loss rate would be 100%, I guess.
No, your chance to lose is
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then you gain
have-
the most amount of points for
Yeah.
that.
Gotcha.
You would have to win those kind of matches, like I don't like 80 times in a row
Yeah.
to just go through the roof, which we don't see happening.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. It's not foreseeable. Maybe John might be able to do
That
it.
would mean he would have to pull someone who's better than him all the time. Which
Well, I'm saying like he can just consistently farm Elo and just find the best competition and be the Magnus Carlsen of arm wrestling Elo.
yeah, it doesn't
but-
matter if the
yeah.
guy's 1 point higher than you, as long as he's 1 point higher than you still get points.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, here I'm going to throw a little curveball here since we got Corey in the chat. Give me like your quick prediction. Are you aware of the matches we got going down this weekend?
Roughly, but you can refresh
Okay.
my memory.
I'll throw them at you. You just give me a quick, like off the top of your head prediction. So first one, Dimitri Ketchen and Brandon Elsass are right-handed.
What rules are you running?
IFA.
So you're calling elbow fouls and stuff?
Yes, we've got Sean Hancock reffing.
Is it straps automatically, or are you
No.
okay? Slip in a losing position available?
No, not underneath IFA.
So basically all slips go to straps?
Well, unless it's a losing position, yeah. So
That'd be a loss. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
standard rules then. So
standard rules, yes.
I'm gonna go Dimitri wins all day long. Probably at least 3-0, or is it a 5? Is it a 5 match?
Let's just say I'm not 100% sure of the format yet. But yeah, let's just say best out of 3.
Dimitri.
Danny set that up. Yeah, Danny Gillian.
Yeah. That's what he told me. Best out of 3. So.
Nothing against Brandon, but the rules
Sure.
have to be in his favor to benefit him in his way of in his style of pulling.
Oh, absolutely.
And if he's pulling against standard rules and Sean's calling hard rules, what Sean does, Brandon will probably foul out most of those matches.
Yeah. So a quick interjection on that. When I contacted Sean, it was after the rigid rules, debacle. And he told me, he goes, he says, I will tell you that I'm a rigid rules guy. I said, Sean, I would not ask you to ref any other way.
I'm
you know
totally
what I mean?
for
So
it.
yeah, I'm like, you know what? I've always been an advocate. Keep your damn elbow down. You got a 7x7 pad. Keep your elbow on it. This micro foul and all this other kind of junk. But anyway, we can go down a rabbit hole on that one.
Yeah, tell me about it.
All right. So second one would be Brandon El Cesor again against Jonathan Brita left-handed.
I want to go with Brita, but I don't know. That's a toughie. That's I'm gonna say a close 3-2 with Brita pulling it out.
All right, 3-2 Brita. Nice. Okay.
Interesting.
A little bit harder for me.
You got all you other guys can chime in too.
It depends on that first match of what Brita can and cannot get done, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that first match will be a really telltale sign of how everything is. The rest of the match is going to go.
Unlike my match with Giannis, it'll be exactly like that.
I was so looking. That was like the one I wanted to watch right there. That match. So, all right, next one. Corey West, Ryan Espy, left-handed.
Corey West destroys him.
Corey destroys him.
Write that down.
I love Ryan Espy a lot.
Sure.
But Corey West looks ridiculous. Like, ridiculous.
I got to agree.
I know Espy is strong and all, but I don't know. That dude's a tank.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, for sure. I think I'm leaning that way too.
It's like a smaller version of Richard Lepke's, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. So the next one we got is a Caleb Ricks and Andre Shark, left-handed.
I've heard of Ricks because I tried to get him to come up to Wyoming to pull AJ a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So I know of him. I've never seen him in person, I don't think, but maybe a handful of times. Shark, on the other hand, I've seen multiple times. It's weird though, because Shark, I see him pull really good against certain people, and then I see him pull really, really bad against certain people.
Yeah.
So it's, I would probably lean towards Shark just because of styles, but that's. I mean, Caleb definitely could beat him at least once or twice, but I think Shark ends up beating it just on style though, because Shark's kind of an awkward style to pull.
Yeah.
Real long arm, hand tall. I don't know if Caleb will be able to contain that enough.
Yeah,
but I'd say 3-2 probably, 3-1 somewhere around there.
Yeah, 3-2 or 3-1. Cool. Yeah, and then of course we've got our odd three-way: Robbie Burnett, Corey West, and Mega Mike out of California, right-handed.
As much as I love Robbie Burnett, because he's a good friend of mine, talk to him all the time, calls me from 15,000 different phone numbers daily, I swear, guys. Oh, you guys think that's funny too, huh? Dude, I swear to God, he calls me and I'm like, who the hell is this? It's Robbie. What the dude? Just keep a phone number for God's sake. If Robbie is healed up and not injured by the first match, because I swear it seems like he always ends up getting something tweaked or whatever about 3/4 of the way into every tournament or whatever I see him pull. But if he can stay healthy, okay. Who pulls who first?
So my understanding of the right now, and there's been some controversy. I don't know if you've seen the back and forth between him and Corey and stuff like that, but the original like setup order would have been Corey and Mega Mike, Corey and Robbie, and then you know what? I have to go look, but now I'm drawing a blank.
If Corey and Robbie is the second match, like you just said, then I will lean towards Corey winning the whole thing. But if Robbie can pull Mega Mike first in the second match, then I would say that it leans more towards Robbie pulling it off.
Really?
I know Mega Mike is stupid strong. That guy is ridiculously strong. I don't think he's going to move Corey West's arm at all. Corey's going to destroy him. Robbie's hand and top roll against Corey is going to be very difficult to control. And I think he's going to bust Corey a couple times. It's just whether Robbie gets hurt or not, or can sustain the top roll.
Yeah.
Corey's side pressure, though, that guy is, that is just a wall of pressure.
Yeah.
And I've seen people who have really good top rolls can't do crap against him. Just go sideways with them. And if Robbie falls into that side pressure, he's not going to feel comfortable at all. And he'll end up either getting hurt or just lose, one of the two.
Oh yeah.
But,
so yeah, the format, to my last knowledge was Corey versus Mega Mike, then Corey versus Robbie, then Robbie versus Mega Mike.
Yeah. I kind of have to lean towards Corey then.
Corey on that one?
Just counting overall matches, like is it if Corey gets 5 wins, then he wins type thing?
Yeah, it would be the most wins throughout the sequence there. Yeah.
I feel like, well, okay, so is Corey pulling that other match beforehand, or is that a different hand?
That's a different hand.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go with Corey, and then a close second will be Robbie. It'll really depend on if Robbie can win enough matches against Corey, or Corey even remotely gets slowed down by Mega Mike, which I doubt is going to happen. And
right.
Robbie has to smash Mega Mike 3 times. He cannot afford to lose one of those matches.
Yeah.
What happens if you get a 5-5? Like if Robbie gets 5 wins and Corey gets 5 wins?
And I guess we just have to do a pull off then.
Well,
we don't want. Nobody wants to leave with a tie. Come on.
If you do a pull off, that makes it a lot more interesting, because I think maybe if it comes down to a pull off and you give him a slight break, Robbie could have just enough left in the tank to pull one out of it.
Yeah.
It could.
So they will be getting breaks. We're still trying to figure out what would be the best thing, because obviously we just don't want to run these guys through like a gauntlet. But I think if we can, they're gonna talk about the format, but I think we're gonna try to give them some good breaks in between.
Yeah.
So that way, that's not like okay, well, just you're pulling right back to back to back to back. If we've got it, because we got a lot of super matches that day. So if we've got to go like round robin match, then we have the super match.
Yeah.
Round robin match, super match. It just depends on how much time is going to be there. And because we don't want to end up giving them 20 minutes. Yeah,
if it ends up in a tie 5-5, I want to say he can probably pull on Ryan. He could probably pull that one. Well, at least one match, one more for the money, I think.
Yeah,
it'd be close. But he's got to pull off at least 2 matches on Corey to keep that in there. Otherwise, I don't see it happening. Because Corey's not losing into Mega Mike no matter what.
Yeah, because like you said, I think their styles are too similar. I think they're both going to dive in, and then it's going to be just a straight
Mega Mike's going to feel like dog crap against Corey. He's like, what in the hell is this thing?
Yeah.
I agree. I like those predictions.
Yeah.
I like them.
Corey, are you going to try to make nationals this year? Or
IFA nationals?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. They're trying to talk me
Nice.
into running it too.
Nice.
No, I'll be down there. I don't know if you guys all know this, but I have family in Texas. They've been trying to get me to move to Texas for years, but
St. Angelo is
We
great
approve.
this time of year.
We concur.
yeah, all my
San
family's
Antonio?
in Austin area.
San Antonio's nice. You don't want to move to Austin. Come to San Antonio.
Oh,
Definitely want to move to Austin.
yeah, I'll be in IFA Nationals. I'm probably gonna run it. I already bought my plane tickets to France, so I'm planning on going to win
Nice.
another world title there. So
Well, let us know if you need anything or we can help you out with anything there, transportation or whatever.
yeah, last year I usually do a trip down to Texas every year, and last year I met with Keith down in Galveston. But yeah, I try to get down there at least once a year. But I've been trying to get to a couple of tournaments. I know Billy's asked me to come to a couple of your guys' tournaments. It just always seems like you guys run stuff pretty close to Wyoming or Colorado State or something like that, and I have to be, I run so many damn tournaments now, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, we understand that. Oh, that's right. I do remember you guys went to the lease or something, right? You and Keith.
Was that?
Oh, did y'all go hunting or?
No, I'd love to go hunting. He's talking about taking me hunting, but he
Oh,
kills little tiny deer out down there, and I kill big deer. So
it's a sensitive subject down here.
yeah, I told him, I was like, "You just come on up. I'll get you a tag up here, or put you in for the lottery up here, and come kill some real animals." But he said he could get me on some whitetail down there or something like that. But
yeah, go up there and get you an elk.
Yeah, I kill elk every year almost.
Yeah.
But anybody that ever wants to come up and shoot an elk, let me know. I'll take you out. But I don't know if you guys know AJ or not, but that's what he does for half the year. He guides out on a couple 300,000 plus acre ranch out in Wyoming. Kills freaking ridiculous elk that you've never seen in your whole life. Just massive monsters. But I have to do it the hard way and go find them in the real woods, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I'm excited to hear you'll be coming down for nationals. That'll be awesome. So.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll probably be in there coming in Thursday night and then stay until Monday or something.
Nice.
What else is on the agenda? You got anything else kind of in the works or?
Dude, I think we killed it.
I'm running Hawthorne on Friday or Saturday or whatever. I'm going to Hawthorne to run that one.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then
in Nevada, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The Bill needs the best bracket person on the planet to show up, so he called me, and I'm gonna be there.
Of course.
Was that a title? I guess it could be, right?
I feel like it almost needs to be now.
Yeah, right.
No, I got let's see, Hawthorne and then then it'd be IFA Nationals in June, and then July's my tournament in Wyoming, and then August is South Dakota, and then September is Worlds, and then October or November is gonna be Colorado. And then December, I'm looking at going to Washington with Tim Talamage.
Mm-hmm.
So for all those people who said I don't arm wrestle anymore, that I'm retired, never, I don't pull. I mean, that's just crazy. I pull and I run tournaments at the same time, kind of deal.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of guys they don't understand that though, too, Corey. Like they don't think that's really a big deal.
Not about tournament pulling. It's all about big super matches once every 2 or 3 years. That's it.
Because I'm not some YouTube star and post a bunch of bullshit on Facebook and how I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread and challenge people to $10,000 matches and whatnot. I actually go arm wrestle places other than 2 or 3 tournaments a year.
Yeah. We got to get back to that, man. We got to get back to we got to get back to competition.
Nobody wants to see the 154 Corey that runs around and kills every weight class in a tournament. They want me to stay fat.
Yeah.
Some of our 154s are getting out of the 154s. They're going 76s.
Yeah, no, Keith's trying to make the jump up there. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. He talked about that the other day. He basically made the announcement and then got challenged for his 154 rank. So he's like,
Yeah.
dang it.
That's called strategy, Billy.
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm just messing.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
I tell everyone all the time. I was like, I'll pull anyone at any weight as long as I have enough time. I mean, I don't really want to go down to 54 again, but my fat ass could probably get there. But with enough time and money, I can do anything.
The spirit.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I guess we're going. Well,
Are there
Let's
any
talk
more
about-
lasting questions regarding Elo? Anything before Corey and I get out of here?
I think let me just double check about the Elo side.
I'm sure there will be, guys.
Well, now's your chance, and you can always DM
Well-
us or DM the page.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
page that you can just message. Corey and I have direct access to reply there. But we want to start talking about it more and more. Let people know. Use the full name on the brackets. Don't use initials. It's hard to tell who people are.
Yeah, I know.
Are if we only have the last letter of their first name or something like that. First,
They'll be
letter of
assigned
the
a-
last name.
Like a unique ID number or something.
That is the
Yeah.
future, Dustin. You're living in the future, and we've discussed it through just the birthday. If you take the birthday on the registration, and then there's a way to type it into the list as well, that would probably be all the uniqueness we need, right? How many Frank Callahans are there born on 10/10/94? But
Yeah.
but there's a lot of John Smiths in the world, and
Yeah.
that will be a problem that we already know we're going to run into. It's probably not huge, but it is a problem, and so we will probably introduce some sort of like birthday thing. Be like, hey guys, you have to put in your birthday now. Sorry.
No way to do like a thumbnail or like a photo.
Oh yeah, those
onto
will
the
come
side.
too.
We
Yeah,
talked about it.
That's-
That's far down the line, but yeah, we
Yeah.
probably be able to do stuff like that. But we want like uniqueness, right? When you sign up for a tournament, how do I know you're the Dustin Laughlin?
Right.
Mhm.
All right, I might have one question coming through there, Corey. But
you got to realize when you talk to Frank, you got to talk in database terms. You got to be like numbers, question marks, hashtags.
Can't keep up
Yeah,
with Frank.
right.
I know
No.
what you're saying, Dustin. You want a
Yeah.
picture. You don't know who Frank Callahan is. You can see him by his dirty mug, but nothing else.
yeah, so like I talked to you, I asked you the other day, Corey,
Yeah.
I had to, basically tell Sarah, our bracket person's like, look, you got to do full names.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, it's, I can't see them. If I
Yeah.
put their full last name, I'm getting like a part of their last name in the bracket,
Yeah. So there's an auto fit column button, or basically just double click the top column. I'm working on a function to make it do it automatically, but it's a ton of code to sit there and run constantly in the
Sure.
background. So it's easier if you just double click the column. But I'm working on a process for that. I'm also working on one for the top 6. I don't know if you guys do this much, but when you get to the top 6, there's a possibility, any true double elimination bracket, where the two are potentially one of the two matches in the top 6 on the B side can be a match that ran in the A side, and you're supposed to move those names if possible.
Mhm.
So if like polar A and B have pulled first round and they come down all the way through the loser bracket and they find their way to pull each other in the losers bracket, you're supposed to move the names around. And right now I have an arrow right there that basically says, hey, check, it says top 6 and you're supposed to check that. But I'm working on a function to say, like, flash the screen or, light up and say, move, potential mess up, whatever.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's more of a checks and balance thing. That's just a lot of checks. You have to basically check every single bracket down the line, and it gets a little complicated.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, as far as the Elo thing, the one big thing, and you kind of touched on a little bit, is once we're ready, which I'm kind of ready on my end of things. We don't have everything ready on the other side. We're still doing the testing, but I'm kind of ready to start doing the exports and building them slowly because it's going to take forever. So I really need the help of all you guys and other tournament promoters to start sending in all their information. And I know it's asking a lot of people sometimes, for even paper versions, but I am willing to go out of my way to reproduce the paper ones into these exports. So, all I'm asking for everyone to do is just to help us out and get us their brackets. You guys who run my system, all you have to do is send me the completed version, which I have some of your guys's, but ones I don't have, all you do is send me the completed one and I'll do the rest for you. And then eventually I'm going to get you guys here very shortly, the version with it built in. You won't know it's built in, but to me, I'll be able to do one click instead of 40. And it'll make my life a lot easier. Plus, it has a new feature where it does a list of polling, list of matches. Instead of watching the whole bracket, you can actually just watch a list and you'll just know polar A pulls polar B, then the next match is this. And it tells you which one's on deck, which one's on the table. And you can actually select winners and losers right there. And it'll move them for you there too. So 2 different ways of doing it on the same screen. And that might help her a lot, actually, because that's kind of one of the reasons I built it, was that you could just watch the list and move the names, or you can just press winner on that part of it and don't even have to zoom into the bracket at all. You just look at the list.
Gotcha.
So I kind of added it on both so people would have the functionality on, if they want to watch a bracket, good, whatever. But if they want to watch a list, they can watch a list.
Awesome.
So I just really hope that all the promoters out there will help us out and get me these brackets, paper, whatever it is. I don't care if it's, as long as it's legit, obviously, but that data right there is going to help us in the long run make this more and more accurate as it goes along.
Yep.
So
only as accurate as the data that we get, and the more the merrier.
Is there a timeline you guys are looking to go back to start this off?
Not right now. Like in a sense, I'd rather just get what I can get, and then we'll kind of cipher it from there. If I can if I could honestly get 5 years worth, and say there's concrete enough information from all 5 years, we could probably do that. But if in all reality, I would say plus or minus 2 years. But because I think that's doable, 5 years might be pushing it.
Right. Also, more recent data is more valuable just overall, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Dustin's performance 3 years ago isn't, adequate to his performance yesterday, but it can be. Like, if we have enough of it, if it's 5 years of consistent data, that would be golden. We don't think that we can get that.
But a random match 5 years ago, and then he doesn't pull for 2 years.
No,
it's not going to do anything.
And speaking of not pulling for 2 years, we did consider like penalties for people who go inactive and stuff like that. And maybe not even just like hitting their elo, but just removing them from the list, so they're like, hidden. And it's like, trying to come up with new ideas to encourage people to pull, every, less like every 6 months at least.
I'm telling you, I'm a huge advocate for. This is a competition.
The biggest problem, I think, is going to be the COVID years. That's going to be really killer. So I say 2 or 3 because I know 2 or 3. 2 or 3 is going to be doable, no problem. Because of COVID stuff, we're going to have limited results. But, if I could say 4 years and I get from 4 years ago, I have, 60 tournaments worth of information. That's pretty awesome. So that'll work, no problem.
You'll get that just from Texas.
I may have actually. Corey. I may have some of those old paper brackets that we use. Some of those, so I'll try to get that.
If you don't mind scanning them into me or whatever, or whatever format you want to send them in, I can help you out there. And then, like I told Billy, I'll have the new version ready here very soon. It's practically done. I've ran these. Okay, so the last 3 tournaments, Arizona Nationals and Vegas. And Louisiana. Sorry. So Louisiana.
I have those 4 tournament data sets right now.
Right. So Louisiana, Vegas, Nationals, and Arizona all ran the new system and ran just fine. Obviously, it's just add-ons. It's not really any changes, but I like to test things before I give it to people. So that version is basically ready to go. I just need to throw your guys' sweet logos on there, and we'll call it good.
Awesome.
I'm
Well,
gonna head out, guys. I gotta go to the
yeah.
grocery store.
Off
Thank
the
you,
wall
Frank.
question there for you, Corey. Just
Good to
real
see ya.
quick by
See ya.
somebody
Yeah.
in the chat asking about your workout routine and how you prepare for a tournament. Do you lift light until a few days out, or do you take a week off? Or
For a tournament, I would say it. I tend to do a lot of arm wrestling. I do lifting, but I do tend to like to arm wrestle a lot. So, I'll arm wrestle at least once a week when I'm really going full bore.
Yeah.
I like to do a lot of bands. I don't do a ton of heavy, strict weights anymore. A lot of stuff that I do for how I arm wrestle is strict, heavy band with static pull to it. So like a cable machine that has a static weight to it, but I put a band also in my hand or on my wrist, and I hit, not hit, but I power through the weight, but my resistance comes from that band. So stuff like that. But typically, if I'm not arm wrestling a lot, it's super heavy reps, like of 3, maybe 4 reps, but super heavy. I don't want to spend 3 hours in the gym. I want to spend 30 minutes doing something retarded heavy where my arm's exhausted. Because to me, if you can't stop my arm, then my arm doesn't get tired. So I want to blow my arm up for the 30, 45 minutes I'm downstairs and something that pushes my limit. And
Awesome.
whether it's the hand, the arm, side pressure, back pressure, doesn't matter. But that's typically how I roll with cables or some type of band or really, really heavy weight. Kind of, It's like a mixture of Todd Hutchings kind of stuff, but without the stopping portion of it.
Oh, gotcha.
Because Todd likes to hit into a, like where his arm doesn't move, and I don't like doing that. It hurts. So I pull through things, but it's just really heavy things that I pull through.
Yeah. So. Nice. Well, I appreciate that, man. And appreciate you coming on and talking about the new system that's coming out. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it.
One thing that guy, whoever that was asking, I get this asked a billion times. I never practice hits, ever.
Oh, okay.
I do not practice speed. Speed to me is the ability to move power quickly. So if I have the ability to power something through my arm, but I can move it 2 or 3 inches in a fast motion, like when I'm lifting, if I only move that thing 3 or 4 inches, but it's quick when I do that quick motion, if that doesn't get stopped normally, then I'm blowing through you anyways. So
gotcha.
When I arm wrestle people in practice, I never hit. I'm holding all the time, and I'm waiting for that ability to just power through things.
Interesting.
And I never ever hit.
Nice.
But in workouts, it's always about overloading the arm and moving it, fairly fast through that power. Not a lightweight. I'm talking ridiculously heavy, and I want to move it as far as I can, but as fast as I can.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a different way of applying speed. It's more like acceleration, I guess, than speed.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, that's interesting.
But
well, like I said, appreciate it, Corey. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to the update.
I'll see you guys in June, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Look forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Travel safe.
Later.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
All right. Well, what a show.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. North America's #1 arm wrestlers in just about every class.
Yeah. And we also too, we had Mega Mike in the chat. Mega Mike was in the chat. Looking forward to this weekend.
Cool.
Looking forward to
Mega Mike.
Looking forward to pool. So a couple quick things before we sign off here. Don't forget your free sleeves, guys. Free sleeve.
Freesleeve.com. We didn't touch on as far as sponsors too. I don't know if you noticed what I'm wearing, Billy.
Are you just going to interrupt me like that?
Yes.
Jesus.
Our number one table.
So the official
manufacturer.
table of Texas Arm Wrestling League, the actual official table. We will never use another table.
I feel like I'm blocking too much of the sign.
No. Combat Arm Sports is back, guys. Combat is back.
August.
We have revived the beast.
Brady Ellis.
Yes. Brady's still on the team.
I want my Brady back. Brady back. Brady back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're super. I mean, it's late, guys. I'm sure we're tired and we're a little delirious. And Dustin's got to work in the morning. I got to get up in the morning. But yeah, Combat's back, guys. Be on the lookout. We'll be making further announcements. We'll have new contact information. There's a new website coming out. We're going to have, the same world-class tables coming out, being produced for everybody. The custom tops again. We're going to start branching into new equipment, new products, along the way. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
Going to be huge.
Huge. So yeah. Go Instagram, Combat Arm Sports, Facebook page, Combat Arm Sports, follow the announcements. They're going to be coming out periodically, and get your orders ready. That's all I got to say. Just save your money.
Yeah.
You might be chomping. Don't be chomping at the bit for one of these other arm wrestling tables. Just save it. And when we hit go, you're going to be all ready to go. You'll never have to buy another table.
Don't forget NatFit.
Tulsa.
NatFit Tulsa.
Yeah, with Miss Annie up there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. One of our good friends at TAL and the ladies division.
Promo code
TAL 15.
TAL 15.
Yep. All Texas Arm Wrestling League gets 15% off NatFit products straight out of Tulsa. So give her a call. If she ain't got it, she'll get it. Another thing, obviously free sleeve, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. TAL 20, guys, 20% off your purchase through free sleeve. You cannot do anything short of submerging your arm in ice water. If you want to be functional and walk around and stuff like that, this is the next best thing. So if you hadn't tried one out, freesleeve.com, look at them, check them out. TAL 20 and discount code, get your 20% off, and you won't be disappointed.
All kinds of colors and color patterns and sizes, and they'll get your arms taken care of if you're having some knee troubles. They've got braces that'll fit your legs and your knees, and even your back.
And last but not least, lion straps.
Oh yeah,
lion straps. Mr. Leo. With lion straps, lionstraps.net, guys. These things are ridiculously comfortable.
Very comfortable straps. Period.
Yeah, we used them at the Lubbock tournament. Everybody seemed to love them. We didn't have an issue with loosening in mid match or anything like that. Obviously, they've got some great colors. They got some.
I don't think I got my straps. I didn't get any lion straps. I'm gonna have to get some.
Oh well, I'm in the southern region, so you have them. So yeah.
Also, what the best part about the straps second best part, as a referee, you know why I appreciate those straps.
Why?
They're easy to take off. They have the duck bill buckle on them. Okay.
Yep.
I would show you one if I had one here, and I don't. Because somebody else has them all.
Hold
on. But yes, they have the duckbill buckle. They make for quite quick and easy removal of the strap. And
lion straps. Oop.
And the application. There you
Boom.
go. Yeah.
So I don't know if you can quite see it. So yeah, we got the duck bill here.
Yep.
It's not so quite curved. I heard a few people complain about the curved buckles and stuff, but this one's not really curved, guys. I don't know if they've changed it. There was some talk about these buckles digging into your hands and stuff like that. Now I will say that the buckle is bigger than obviously Mr. One Albert Ding's metal buckles, which is, don't everybody freaked out, because look, Albert is our guy. Albert's also busy. We support Albert 100%. Albert makes straps for fun. I want Albert straps, but I love Leo straps too. So rather than bother Albert all the time in his busy schedule for straps that he makes for, enjoyment, Leo is another great product, lion straps, that TAL can utilize for their tournaments. So there was a little bit of complaint that the buckle's a little big. And I think what ends up happening there is it just depends on how the referee puts it on. If it sits high, you've probably got a little bit of a problem with the hand coming over and touching the buckle. If it gets down low, it gets down into the bottom of your hand there. So all in all, still a great strap, great price on the website. TAL is now featured underneath one Derek Smith on the sponsored athletes page. So you can go to linestrap.net, click athletes, and you will see the TAL logo there as a sponsored athlete. And support them, guys. It's great straps. What else you got? I lost you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I got you now.
Okay, so I know this isn't a lion strap, but I believe this is a very similar.
Buckle.
Yeah, I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. Very similar buckle. So you can kind of see size-wise that way. They're very similar. And then if I go like that, how's that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
And this is an Albert Ding strap with the metal buckle. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
pretty close.
Anyway, guys, great show. We've been on for over 2.5 hours now. I'm tired. I'm sure Dustin's tired. He's got to go to work. So we appreciate everybody coming out and chatting with us. Thanks everybody in the chat. Hopefully we got to your questions and everything like that. And we will see you next time on the Pin Pad.
Have a good one.